Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz, your host of the Raiders Report, and it's Monday, and we are live. Shout out to the nation for deciding to pull up with Jeremy, Chuggs, and I today. Coming up here live on our show, we're going to get into the latest news and rumors circulating around the silver and black, and there's actually a lot of stuff to talk about today, which I like doing the show that I'm about to do for the simple fact of when you look at some of the top trending topics that are out there, I see that a lot of people have been asking about Brandon Facyson. We're going to talk about him a little bit today. Maybe Luke Masterson. I saw the Las Vegas Review-Journal. They released a 53-man roster projection video. So what I decided to do is kind of look at that and give my idea, give my 2 cents on it. Then we got some more trending rumors to break down. We're going to talk about DJ Turner. We're going to talk about the UFL. Tom Telesco has been a guy in years past that he's not been afraid to sign XFL, not been afraid to go out there and, sign other players as well. So could they sign somebody from the UFL? If you want to get those questions, comments on the show, I need you to use hashtag Raiders or Super Chat to get those questions, comments on the show right now. And then what we're going to end up doing is roster bubble candidates for the silver and black, and we're going to be breaking it all down for the nation. So if you guys want, use hashtag Raiders or Super Chat to get those questions in. Did you have a nice Father's Day? Let me know down below from top to bottom. Dylan Erickson, I see you. Jake Serb, what's up, my man? Juan Hernandez, can't walk. Dead Mike, a bunch of real ones down in the comments section. Rebel Montana also here. Aggressive Master Raider. Dead Mike, can't get it right. What is up? What is up? And now I think finally YouTube is back. So, what is up? Did you guys have a nice Father's Day? Let me know down below. Appreciate Dylan Erickson, Jake Serb. What up, Asian Lord Only Dance? I think YouTube had a little bit of an issue to start this show off, but I think we're all good now. Can you guys hear me? Did you have a good Father's Day? Jeremy, Chuggs, and I, we're here right now chilling. We're going to be talking a lot of news, a lot of rumors going on right now around the silver and black. I got aggressive Master Raider. Can't get it right. Glenn, what's up? Man, I'm not going to lie. Chuggs and I were like, what the hell is going on with YouTube? Because it wasn't working for like 5 minutes. I think we're good now, though. I think we got it. Ed Robbins, what's up, my man? K-Rock, Raider Ryan, salute, salute, salute. I'll be real. I did have a really good Father's Day. It was always cool. I'm not a real dad. I'm a dog dad. So, it is what it is. Not being able to hang out with my dad kind of sucked. But being able to hang out with, like, Alex, her family, we went out for they say brunch. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I don't really know how that's brunch. But man, oh man, it was some good food. Had some good drinks. Nice to be able to hang out with the fam. Jake Serb, James Butts. What's up, Gatlin Gun? Can't get it right. Cheers to you as well. So today, we're going to be talking about Brandon Facyson, Luke Masterson, DJ Turner. We're going to be talking about some roster candidates as well, just because when you go through and you look at a 53-man, there's definitely some guys that are going to make the team, obviously, and then there's some dudes that aren't. The way that I usually do a 53-man roster is I go by position by position. What I did today was I laid out a 53-man, okay? But then I also took that lineup to about 55, 56, 57, 58, and I looked at, all right, who were like the final 5 players that got in? Who were the final 5 players that did not make my team? We're going to talk about those 10 guys today and how close they are to making this roster bubble because Antonio Pierce Tom Telesco, they've done a pretty good job this offseason bringing in a lot of bodies to be able to have some good competition on both sides of the football on offense and on defense. And yes, it is FKC week from King Shab. Can I get some FKCs down below? If you don't know, we go up against the Kansas City Chiefs in our Madden simulation on Thursday. So make sure you're tuned in for that.
FKC. FKC. FKC.
What up, Seth?
FKC, let's go!
Vincenzo K-Rock, it's FKC week, and it feels like a good week.
I mean, truly, it isn't every week FKC week.
Fortunately and unfortunately, yes. Like, I promise you this right now, if the Chiefs don't win the Super Bowl, and if the Raiders won the Super Bowl this year, I wouldn't spam FKC for a year if that's what it meant. I'm not even kidding you. I wouldn't even be kind of upset about it. I just think it's one of those things, man. That's the best team in the NFL. That's the team you're going after. And I don't know if you did it on purpose, but Chiefs. How do you spell Chiefs? FKC, man. FKC.
That was totally on purpose. It's a troll.
The ultimate troll job is to spell it wrong.
It's honestly me just trolling them.
I respect it. I really do. Legendary Jimmy Gaming. You know what? You should always have faith that your team's going to go undefeated until they lose that first game. As soon as they lose the first game, then anything's up for grabs.
So the funny thing is, I actually spelled it right on all the other graphics.
Oh, I believe you. My problem, I was actually looking at it, and I'm going in my head, I'm like, that just doesn't look right.
Here, I fixed it.
There you go. The shifts. The Kansas City... Chiefs? Is that how you would say that?
Chiefs?
The Chiefs. Yikes. It is FKC week, though.
There we go.
Vedrak, it's good to see you. Dylan, it's good to see you.
Is that better? I before E except after C or something like that?
Before E. But that is before C. See, this is where it just gets insane.
This is where the wheels come off.
Nah, but seriously, did you have a good Father's Day weekend? Sadie, did she get you anything?
Yeah. She got me some Starbucks and some candy.
That's very
and
thoughtful.
A card.
I ended up getting Chuck a ball.
Which I don't know if you saw my story, but I'm technically the stepdad. I came in after.
I did see your story.
Danny had.
I don't remember what you said, but I remember saying it was clever.
I'm not the stepdad. I'm the dad that stepped up.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was. I remember seeing that, and I showed that to Alex. I was like, that's pretty clever. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty clever.
I got a laugh out of Seeps. That's all that matters.
Oh, Glenn said he got a Blackstone.
Woo!
Jealous.
On the Blackstone. I'm
jealous.
I'm about to get a grill. I need an outdoor grill first.
Yeah.
I've just been doing like cast iron and stuff like that inside. But I'm getting an outdoor grill coming up. And then next thing I want is a Blackstone. But did you know Blackstone's actually pretty hard to keep? Like,
oh, really?
It's a lot of maintenance. You have to clean it a certain way and do stuff a certain way. And if you leave it and you don't clean it for a while, it can get rust on it.
I figured I should watch Yellowstone before I get a Blackstone.
Yeah.
But that's usually how it goes.
Also, I'm going to be trying to be better this week about having us answer your questions.
Yep.
So if you want to get on the show, this is the time of the year where it's a lot easier to have open dialogue, talk with y'all, just because there's not a lot of breaking news happening. There's not a lot of news and new rumors around the Raiders.
Like a lot of the stuff that we're talking about today is, I would say we're just doing a little bit more of a deep dive on some of the stuff that we already know. Also, some other people out there like the Las Vegas Review-Journal, they put out articles. I like to be able to give my 2 cents. So we have a lot of that type of content on today's show. But I was told by the Silver and Black Hills, Mount Raider more, that we should do a better job of just, trying to get some extra questions on the show to just, that way it's not me just asking you stuff all the time. I do want you guys to ask me some stuff, and it'll just keep the show moving a little bit more fluid, if you will, in the offseason. Jacob Waters, thank you, man, for the super chat. It's greatly appreciated, believe it or not. Also, if you haven't yet, make sure you guys click that like button. It does go a long way. It does help us out in the show. And when you get 255 people watching, believe it or not, I would like it and I would appreciate it if all of y'all could take that second and click that like button.
Jacob, also first-time super chatter.
First-time super chatter from Jacob Waters. What's up, my man? Look at the world's best Raider room. Is that Gino? Thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right, how about this? One of the things that we're going to talk about today is from Brandon Facyson. What's your confidence level in Brandon Facyson? 1 to 10, because I talked about it last week that he was getting some run with the ones, and him and Ja'Cory and Bennett were, during OTAs, during minicamp, getting a lot of the main one work. And I said last week that one of the top storylines that you need to follow is who's going to be that fifth DB, because it's going to be Nate Hobbs, it's going to be Jack Jones, it's going to be Marcus Epps, Trevon Merrick. Who's going to be that other guy that fills in? What if it's Brandon Facyson? Because I actually think if the season started today, it would be him.
So this is a very good question, Mitch. Good question.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Very difficult question, because the only thing I can remember us last year talking about Brandon Facyson is his injuries.
Yeah, that's it.
That's literally the only thing that we talked about with Brandon Facyson. I don't think we said he was a good player, bad player. I don't even know if we were indifferent. I think it was just talking about him and him being injured. So I think it's a really big Can he stay healthy? Can he stay on the field? And if so, I mean, you have a really good pass rush this year. And that should help all the corners on this Raiders roster.
Absolutely.
So if they're able to get a really good pass rush, I don't see why not Brandon Facyson can be a good, fifth DB on the field for the Raiders.
I think what's going to be interesting is based on the reports early on, it's like Fayson's better technique. He's the guy that doesn't take a lot of risks. And he's somebody that's going to be able to keep, people in front of him at least, but can get burnt pretty easily. Ja'Cory Bennett on the other side is somebody that takes a lot of risks, and you saw that last season when he did get burnt. But Bennett is the better athlete. The technique just isn't quite there. Now, I know a lot of people watching probably right now are like, well, can we go out and get a Stephon Gilmore? Can we sign an Xavier Howard? Like, somebody that's going to make this room a little bit better.
Yeah.
But, it does sound like that the Raiders are kind of confident right now in some sort of combination between the two young rookies that they drafted, Brandon Facyson, and then you look at a dude like Ja'Cory Bennett. And like you said, if your defensive line is elite and you can play physical, Facyson could do that 6'2", 200-pound, little bit bigger of a corner. That doesn't give you as much time then to get burnt, which bend but don't break style of defense here. What up, Dylan Erickson? I also see Rudy Mendez says 5, Raphael 5, Hetty Hartman says 3 on the confidence scale for Brandon Facyson. If and when Dak is a free agent next year, what would you be willing to pay him on a year-to-year basis? I don't even think it's so much of what I would be willing to pay. If the year-to-year basis doesn't start at $60 million per year, he's not going to be a Las Vegas Raider. And I think there's going to be a team that gives him $60 million.
I think a bigger question is, would you be willing to do a Kirk Cousins style deal? Like short term, 2-year, but it's all guaranteed. Like
if it's all guaranteed, if Dak's getting a 2-year deal and it's all guaranteed, I think it's 2 years, probably 2 years, 130 mil. 65 a year. I mean, that's...
Well, I mean, a lot of the contracts that we've seen, it's been, $55 million a year, but 45 guaranteed. What if I told you it was like 2 years, $108 million fully guaranteed? So it's like 56 a year.
I don't see a world where he makes less than Trevor Lawrence, especially on
but
a shorter
that'd be
basis.
That'd be 56, and it would be all guaranteed. Where Trevor Lawrence's, I think, is like 40-something million is guaranteed. 2 years, $56 million a year, fully guaranteed. Which I think
if you told me right now,
I think I did the math wrong. I think that would be 2 years, 112 mil.
Whatever it is, I don't see a world where Dak signs a deal that's less than $60 million a year. And that's just, I think, not so much to do. I mean, Dak's a good quarterback. He's the top 10 QB, whether you guys like to admit it or not.
I mean, he did say he didn't care about money earlier.
He did say, but I also don't buy into that. Just the way that the quarterback market's going, it's just going to keep going.
And he'd be making more money because, or I guess where he is no state income tax. But
yeah, there's also no tax in Texas either. But we'll see what happens with Dak. I think the only way the Raiders even entertain the idea of something like this is if they have a season where legit, they go 10-7, maybe they win 11 games, and they're like, wow, our defense is literally the best defense in the NFL. We need a quarterback, and if we have a quarterback like Dak, we think that we're a Super Bowl contender. I just think for you to pay Dak that much money for the Raiders, your defense has to be elite this year. Your quarterback play has to also be a disaster this season, which it might happen. I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you. It might happen that the Raiders QB situation is a disaster. Let's go to Robert. How do you feel about the recent Brandon Ayuk situation? It's fun. It's interesting.
I was telling Mitch, I can't exactly remember, but I think his homegirl was saying earlier this offseason, we want to go to LV. We want to go to Las Vegas.
I know the Raiders have been a team mentioned with Ayuk, and it's simply because of the connection with Antonio Pierce.
Former Forks Up.
Former Forks Up guy. To me, if Ayuk gets dealt, it's the Commanders.
You don't think the Steelers?
I mean, maybe the Steelers have been the team that's been reportedly interested in a wide receiver, but I also just find it strange that Ayuk calls Jaden Daniels and he's like, hey, they don't want me no more. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, they don't want me. And if I'm Jaden, who reportedly has been looking really, really good at camp, that's your guy. I also think that that's why the Raiders were linked as so much is because there was a chance that the Raiders could have gotten
I just wonder if they would want to trade, which I know it's kind of more NBA thoughts, like with where I'm going with it, but I wonder if they would rather trade him out of the NFC. Like trade him to an AFC team, like the Steelers or maybe like the Jags.
I guess if you're the Niners, I don't know if it necessarily matters all that much. I would say the only team that if I'm the Niners, obviously you're not going to trade to anybody within the division, but like the AFC, I'd almost make an argument like you're not going to trade them.
Like if you're making the Commanders better and like maybe the 49ers have a bad year, they could be battling the Commanders for that final, wild card spot.
Do the 49ers, though, in all honesty, think that any team in the NFC is as good as them? I don't think so.
But you're making teams better by trading away your – some people think he's the best receiver on their team.
He is the best. He's better than defense.
So you'd be trading your best receiver on your team to another NFC team, making you a little bit worse and making them, with also an unknown at quarterback, that much better.
I do think anytime you have a star player like that, it is smart to try to trade them out. But I'll also say there's so many stacked teams in the AFC. Or if I'm the San Francisco 49ers, there's a handful of AFC teams that I'm not going to trade them to in the sole chance of, again, that you make it to the Super Bowl and then, like, you're not going to trade him. You're not going to trade him to, like, the Buffalo Bills. Or, like, I don't think that you would trade him to – you're definitely going to trade him to the Chiefs.
But that's in the AFC. I mean, I feel like if I'm running the 49ers, I would actually rather trade him to the Bills than the Commanders. Because it's just like you don't want to get to that, wild card spot, like seeding and stuff, and you're like, damn, like
I hear you.
We gave the Commanders a number one receiver to go with their brand new quarterback, and we don't know what if he turns out to be the best quarterback in the draft?
I think we're just overthinking it also. Like if you're the Niners and you get a first round pick from a team that has a chance to be bad this season, you might just do it.
Yeah.
What? I mean, probably.
What if we're just overthinking?
What's up, Mario? Top 3 choices of barbecue chicken, pork, etc.
I'm from Texas.
I guess
I'm from Texas, so it's got to be 1-1 brisket. If you don't have good brisket, you say like what top 3 things to get at a barbecue spot?
Oh, okay.
1-1 is brisket.
If
you don't have good brisket, I can't go to your barbecue spot. I'm sorry.
I'm with you. No, I could not be.
Number 2 though is tough because this is going to be an unpopular pick, but I love barbecue turkey. Like smoked turkey on the barbecue, like
I like smoked turkey.
I actually like it better than chicken, I would say.
Nah, I'm not going to go that far.
Like I like
that's insane.
Like I like, like grilled chicken, like, chicken with barbecue sauce, but like smoked chicken, I think I'd rather have smoked turkey. Like a smoked turkey leg.
Yeah, that might just be you. I don't know. Like, if I'm going to go to a place, I'm going to get brisket, I'm going to get pork, and then I'll end up getting, I don't know. The 2 that I'm getting every time are brisket and pork. Besides that, I can mix and match depending on, like, what people are good with. What up, Glenn? What up, Mark? Ronnie, Denny, Vinny, Deco. Appreciate you, too.
3 would probably be ribs for me. It'd probably be brisket, turkey, and ribs.
Like, I would go to a place, like, my guarantee are brisket and pulled pork. If a place is known for ribs, I will end up getting the ribs. If the place is known for sausage, I actually probably would do...
Yeah, sausage is up there.
If the place is known for turkey or chicken or, like, whatever.
I just love barbecue turkey. I think, like, smoked turkey, the taste of it is just delish.
I gotcha. All right, y'all. I want to get into the very first show that we got coming up here today. Again, as this live show just kind of goes on periodically, I want you guys to continue to use hashtag Raiders. Get those questions in because we're going to be answering them throughout the entirety of today's live show. We'll probably be here we'll probably be here until 6 p.m. Eastern time. For those that don't know, the NBA Finals is on tonight. So
I thought you were about to say now you know.
Oh, well, now you know. If you don't know, now you know. But Celtics, Mavs tonight, our chat sports team, they're going to be live for this one. It's a big, big game. We're down here in Dallas, and I can't wait to see how this one ends up going down.
Oh.
Also, we're going to do a 50-50 raffle today, $10 Venmo in order to get in at Mitchell Renz 365. I've had a few people reach out to me and say that YouTube's just not working correctly today and Super Chats aren't going through. If you want a question or if you want to try to get... You can, like, if you want to get in the 50-50 raffle and you can't Super Chat a question, also send me the question in Venmo.
I would say this. Let's probably, with all the stuff going on with YouTube Studio, let's just try to say, like, hey, everybody here, let's not super chat today. I'd rather you get in the 50-50 raffle and us have a big pot at that and have a good time at the end than issues with YouTube and have, like, stuff going on with that. Because I don't want y'all to, like, lose your money or get messed up.
See, Ventrax sent in a super, but it got retracted. Yeah. So if there's a question and you want to also get in the 50-50, I think it's the easiest one. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. We had a little bit of issues getting the show started earlier today, but I've had multiple people message me, said that they can't super chat.
Yeah, so go ahead. I'll try to get as many hashtag Raiders up as I can.
Yep.
Still use hashtag Raiders. I'll get those up, the best questions up on the screen. But if you want to have some fun today, if you want to get crazy, I'd recommend just let's do the 50-50 raffle at the end of today's show.
Yep. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right, man, we got 317 people here in the building. If you haven't yet, make sure you click that like button right now. I got a bunch of people that are trying to get in our duck race, which a little Father's Day duck race here, a little action going. My dad sent me a picture.
Also, we kind of set the chat on fire with the barbecue talk earlier.
Oh, yeah? I mean, I'm starving right now.
People are going onto the sides now. They're saying you need baked beans and you need mac and cheese.
So when you get barbecue, do you also get it with like I want pickles, onion, like I want all that
jalapenos.
Stuff. Give me it all.
Yeah.
Give me all the fixins.
And
Dylan Erickson, you in, can't walk you in.
Extra points if they make their own pickles.
Justin Gilbert in, and then Jason Gutierrez, you in. Right now, 4 people are in for our duck race. Appreciate all of y'all for trying to get in this bad boy.
Coleslaw is that's a tough one.
I like coleslaw.
I like it on a sandwich. Like as itself on a side, I'm like, on it.
Oh, see, I'm actually, if I'm having it on a sandwich, I like my coleslaw more of like, by itself, I like it sweeter. On a sandwich.
Like on a pulled pork sandwich, I like it with coleslaw on top of it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Or like a barbecue sandwich, I like some coleslaw.
Yep.
Maybe some pickles on there, some barbecue sauce.
F it up. Oh, yeah, I'm with you. I'm a big texture guy, and with pulled pork, because it's soft, I need the coleslaw to have crunch.
To the crunch.
Yep, big texture guy here.
First up, we have some trending rumors around the Las Vegas Raiders.
Is it Raiders? It's going to be fun. Today's show is going to be, I think people who are diehard Raider fans, again, you're watching this video in June, you're probably a diehard fan. There's a lot of stories around some of these players that aren't household names amongst the nation, and definitely not household names amongst NFL fans. But for people that bleed silver and black, today's show, the amount of interesting tidbits that we have, I think that you guys are really going to like today's show.
I mean, also, forgotten sometimes, got to have good, I love it when they have good bread at a barbecue spot. Even though some of the best barbecue spots in Texas is just plain white bread because the meat is that good.
I almost feel like if I get good white bread, like for barbecue, I feel like it's them flexing a little bit. They're like, this is how confident we are.
If you just get like Wonder Bread at a place, they're like, dude.
This is how confident I am.
You don't need it.
Exactly.
But I do like whenever they have like either some like King's Hawaiian rolls or like some sweet rolls or something.
That's what I like. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, don't get me wrong. When it's white bread, I expect a lot more. But, I mean, you give me some of that Hawaiian roll. Oh, man.
All right.
Gas.
We're making everybody hungry.
I'm making myself hungry.
Let's feast on some of these Raiders rumors.
Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, we're going to go through some Raiders rumors that have been circulating around the silver and black. Back in the old days when the show first started, I'm talking back when I first started the show on Facebook, we used to take articles from people from all over the place, whether that's ESPN, Bleacher Report. Today I got some interesting notes from Sports Illustrated, SI, and then I also got something from the Las Vegas Review-Journal that I thought all of y'all would be interested in around Brandon Facyson, around DJ Turner, and then a lot of reports from Broncos camp that Bo Nix is struggling, and we're going to talk about all of that today on the Raiders Report. We are in a June sub-battle, and we were in the lead last week. Here's the thing. We are no longer in the lead. The 49ers Report has taken a commanding lead. They put up some big numbers over the weekend. I don't want to lose to the Niners Report, so if you can, hit that subscribe button. And if you know a Raider fan, or if you know somebody that hates the 49ers and they're not subscribed to this channel, Send this video to them. Tell them to subscribe because I'm not losing to the Bang Bang Niner gang. So the way that we're going to do today's show is we're going to hop into our time machine a little bit. We're going to go back and look at the old Just Win baby. So the first story coming up here on today's show is around Brandon Facyson, and is he being overlooked by Raider Nation? There was an article that came out from SI, and I'm going to give this one 4 Just Win babies. Believe it, baby. It is 100% a fact that Raider Nation, myself included, is overlooking cornerback Brandon Facyson, and I say that because anytime you get a corner that's working with the ones, anytime you get a player that does have the connections that Facyson has and is a veteran, fits what this coaching staff is looking for right now, I do think that we're sleeping on him a little bit. There's been multiple reports that he's been impressing this offseason, and he has the potential to start. Like, if we're not talking about a player that has the opportunity to start, I'll admit, I think that he would be the starter that would give people the most worries out of all 22 from the offense and on the defensive side of the football. He's splitting reps right now with Ja'Cory Bennett, or I guess I should say he was splitting reps with Ja'Cory Bennett at mandatory minicamp, also during OTAs this offseason. But the one thing that we really got to look at, and why I'm giving this 4 Just Win babies, is the Raiders like his physicality. They like the size of him on defense, and when you have a bend but don't break defense and you're very confident in your defensive line, like, all you're really looking to do is, I need to be able to keep somebody in front of me for Facyson for like 10 to 15 yards and not get burnt deep. He's the more solid player, where Ja'Cory gets burnt deep a little bit more. Nate Hobbs, he tried to tell us last week, hyping up Facyson. I think the sky's the limit for him. I feel like people forget my rookie year back in 2021, how he started last half of the season. He went man for man with every receiver who was a top-ranked receiver and shut them down, essentially. Once he gets in his bag, he's hard to stop. He makes it very hard on the opposing team. He's just a physical specimen is what I call him. Great dude, too, great energy, and great positivity. So at 6'2", 200 pounds, like the Raiders this entire offseason, they've been looking for big corners to get physical, and they want long, lanky corners. And I know Facyson's kind of forgot about because he's injured, or was injured last offseason. 27 years old, MJ Devonshire, long, lanky, physical. Look at, DeCamerion Richardson, long, lanky, physical. Yes, Facyson is not a part of this regime, but when you look at a lot of the corners that they brought in, kind of fits the mold of what Facyson's talking about. I don't fully agree with everything Nate Hobbs said, but I do think that we are starting to sleep and been sleeping on Facyson quite a bit this offseason. Raiders cornerback coach Ricky Manning, who I do think is one of the best in the biz, is a new coach this season. That's what he had to say about him. Love the way the guy shows up every day. He is a pro. The way he works, the way he shows up to work, the way he studies, his detail, his effort, his intensity to get better. It's been showing up every day. He's been very consistent. He's been very healthy. And that guy, being healthy, is going to be good for us. He's going to be a big part of this defense, and we're looking forward to it. Looking forward to him just continuing to grow and ascend. I mean, this is literally your cornerback coach telling you that he's going to be a big part of this defense. And, like, we've been sitting around. When are we going to sign Xavier Howard? When are we going to sign Stephon Gilmore? The reports have been coming out that the Raiders are very comfortable with their defense, the way that they've been playing this offseason, and they're going to potentially use some of that money to extend some of these other players. I mean, there's a lot to unfold. There's a lot to digest. But here's my question to you. Let's say it's week 1 right now, because I legitimately think if it was week 1 of the regular season, there's a decent chance that Brandon Facyson's walking out there as your starting opposite corner. Not saying it's only going to be him. It'd be a little bit of a rotation. But, like, there's a chance that he's your starting cornerback right now. So scale it for me from 1 to 10. What's your confidence level on him? 1, not confident at all. 10, you're very, very confident. It's going to be the pinned comment on today's show. Scrolling down, give me your answer, because after this YouTube ad break, I'm going to give you mine. My confidence level in Brandon Facyson as it stands right now is a 4. It's not very high. I'm just being real with you, and I'm trying to put my beer goggles on for him to be able to paint this picture, because, yes, he has been splitting reps with Ja'Cory Bennett, but one of the reasons why I do really think that, again, that it's the 4 Just Win babies of why he's being overlooked, we got to remember this. Tom Telesco signed him as a UDFA back in 2018 when he was a member of the Los Angeles Chargers. He was there for 3 years, and then what happened? He ended up signing with the Raiders back in 2021, where the defensive coordinator was Gus Bradley. This team loves AFC West experience. This team loves what Facyson's able to bring here to the table. And if he's 100% healthy, that gives him a good advantage going up against a lot of other corners on our roster outside of our top two dogs and Nate Hobbs and Jack Jones, that he's got that. He's got some veteran years on him in the NFL. That does give him an advantage. Like when you look at his PFF grades last season, not a big sample size by any means. Only 44 snaps, 51.7 overall grade, run defense, coverage grade. Like Facyson is not somebody that's going to be a great cornerback 2. He's more of a cornerback 3. Maybe we can put him in a situation at cornerback 2 just because we're so confident in all the other 10 players that are going to be out there on that football field, so confident in our Raiders defensive line that you're like, hey, man, I just need you to cover for a little bit. Our guys are going to go out and get after the quarterback. We just need you to be able to handle your business and not get burnt deep, which sounds like that's what Facyson has been doing this entire offseason. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, will DJ Turner make the Raiders roster? Las Vegas Review-Journal, Vincent Bonsignor, he broke down a 53-man roster projection. I'll tell you whether or not he's got Turner on his 53-man. We'll talk about that in just a second. But man, oh man, I love me some Chubbies. And if you haven't already gotten started with our sponsor, then I need you to listen up because summer's here. Chubbies basically invented summer last time I checked. And if you need to, go take advantage of this deal. That link's going to be available to y'all down in the comments, down in the description of today's show, chatsports.com/chat. Make sure you guys use code CHAT for 20% off your first purchase. Sky's out, thighs out. Summer is here, and our friends at Chubbies are bringing the good vibrations. Chubbies is a lifestyle apparel brand that makes every moment feel like a vacation. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners 20% off your order with our exclusive code. Use code CHAT at chubbyshorts.com/chat. I've been wearing the original stretch shorts, and I love how comfortable the elastic waistband is. For me, like personally, I got big legs, and I'm not afraid to tell you all that. And in the summertime, it gets really hot. I don't like when my pants stick to me, and that extra stretch fabric does go a long way. I also like the fact that they have the inch seams of 4 inches, 5.5, and 7 inch. So, like, I can wear different types of shorts all the time. Like, whether I want to wear them to the pool, whether I want to wear them out, like, I walk to work. To be able to have shorts that fit my body nicely, also look good. Like, I can wear these on a golf course. I can wear these on date night. I can wear these when I'm walking my dog Chuck. 20% off Chubbies with promo code CHAT. Again, that link is available to all of y'all down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. So whether you're getting dressed for your workday, a workout, or a weekend getaway, Chubbies has you covered. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our viewers 20% off your order with code CHAT at chubbyshorts.com/chat. I'm going to say it again in case, I don't know, maybe you weren't paying attention like Chuck in that photo. That's code CHAT at chubbyshorts.com/chat. Support the Raiders Report. Tell them that we sent you. Don't blend in with the crowd. Stand out with Chubbies. Let's go to the next story here on the Raiders Report, and it's around DJ Turner and whether or not he's going to make the roster for the Silver and Black. I'm going to give this one 2 just win babies, and I'm going to say it's a 50% chance that he's going to make the roster, which I'm telling you this right now. If you would have told me, Mitch, 2 months, like back in March, back in April, hell, even right after the NFL draft, if you would have told me that I would be given 2 just win babies for DJ Turner to make this roster, I would have said you're freaking crazy, man. I'm not even kidding to you. But Turner was predicted to make the Raiders' 53-man roster, according to Vincent Bonsignor from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. And Bonsignor said that, they're going to end up keeping 6 wide receivers. The reason why I'm a big, where there's smoke, there's fire, and maybe the fire in this situation is this team keeping Turner, because you go back to what Tom McMahon had to say 3 weeks ago, and he said, I love DJ Turner. If you don't know who Tom McMahon is, it's the Raiders special teams coach. I know he's listed as a receiver, but the way that Turner is going to make this team is on special teams. And I think with these new kick return rules, a lot of NFL teams are a little bit worried of how it's going to impact them for the entire season because it's the land of unknown. And for DJ Turner, that makes Tom McMahon a little bit easy in the world of unknown that might happen. According to the Review Journal, though, these were the 6 wide receivers that ended up making the roster. I know you don't see Brock Bowers. I usually put Bowers in with wide receiver because I do anticipate he plays more wide receiver snaps the Las Vegas Review-Journal ended up putting him at tight end, so no problems there. But you keep 6 receivers, DJ Turner, Jalen Guyton, and, Michael Gallup, Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers, Devontae Adams. We expect those 4 guys to make it. Guyton is a coin flip. DJ Turner, to me, is a coin flip. But, what Turner has done in the past, he's been a punt returner, he's been a kick returner. He's done it for this team at spurts at times when other injuries have arose. But because of those new kickoff rules, because of Tom McMahon already telling you that he's got that love for Turner and he thinks he's going to be able to help us out on special teams, you got to be good on offense. It's important. You got to be good on defense. It's very important. But to be good at all 3 phases, especially with these new rules in the NFL, this is where DJ Turner, as soon as he heard that new kickoff rule, he was probably like, I got a shot to make a 53-man roster. So here you go. You make the call. I want you to beat Tom Telesco. What the heck do you do with DJ Turner? Do you keep him? Do you cut him? If you cut him, it's no money against your dead cap hit. I want to say you end up saving like $915,000 or like $985,000, which you could potentially use that money to go out and, I don't know, sign another free agent or whatnot. But what exactly do you do with TJ Turner? Keep, cut, let me know down below. In my last 53-man roster projection video that I made, I did put him in my 53-man. He made it barely. He just made the cut. And if you want to go check out that video, I do have it for you guys, which I'm going to put it up here for those of you that aren't watching this live. You can click this button right here and go check out my last 53-man roster projection video. I'll also say I'm going to end up making tons, and I mean tons of these videos throughout the offseason. This is the thumbnail in case you're wondering of what it looks like. I try to do a 53-man after minicamp, and I'll end up doing one right before training camp. If the Raiders make a few big signings or a few splash plays, I'll do another 53-man. I love understanding the strengths, the weaknesses, where I think I can get players. Last year, I got 51 out of the 53 players right, which to me, I think is pretty spot on for my Raiders 53-man. Coming up next here, hey, man, you got to keep your friends close, but you got to keep your enemies closer. And we're going to talk about Bo Nix because it's been a little bit of a brutal offseason for him, but it might just be a brutal offseason for the quarterbacks in general in Denver, which I almost find it funny that there's been so much talk around how bad the Raiders quarterbacks are going to be, and yet I don't even think that they have the worst quarterback room in their own division. So to all the dads out there, I hope you had a great Father's Day. And for me personally, Dad, I love you. He actually just sent me a picture. He's literally kayaking at the moment that he's watching this video right now. I'm not even kidding when I tell you that. He's literally kayaking. He's probably going to get mad at me for showing this picture. Look at him. Dude's ripped. Kayaking right now. Got an umbrella. Hey, Dad, that's what happens when you send me the pics. But I didn't get able to hang out with my dad. I was able to hang out with Alex's dad. I am a dog dad. But seriously, I hope all the dads out there, there's a lot of amazing, amazing people that watch this show. And, to all the moms out there, I'll be real with you. I know some people that didn't have dads in their lives, and their moms, they get Father's Day cards, and it's part of it. If you're a single parent, if you're a mom, you know what? Hey, 2 moms, 2 dads, I don't care what it is. I think if you're a parent, happy Father's Day to you, because being a dad's a lot more than just, literally being a male figure. I also wanted to do this because if you don't follow me on Instagram and if you don't follow me on Twitter, I thought this was kind of wild that the official Denver Broncos Twitter page tweeted at the Raiders and said, Happy Father's Day to our daddy, the Raiders, which I really didn't expect the Donkeys to do it. I don't really think that's a very good organization, but it makes sense. If you haven't beaten a team since December 29, 2019, and the Raiders got 8 straight wins, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Round of applause for the Denver Broncos showing love to their daddy on Father's Day. Let's get into this final story here on the Raiders Report, and Bo Nix struggling. Oh, yeah, baby. This one's 4 just win babies. Believe it, baby. And, there's been a few beat reporters there for Denver trying to spin this and saying, oh, he hasn't been as bad as what's been reported by some. I'll say this. If Bo Nix is getting outplayed by Jarrett Stidham, it's not a good situation. And I don't want to sit up here and say I told you so because it's still way, way too early. But, we can also start reading the tea leaves here of if he's not good, which I've already said, I don't think Bo Nix is ever going to be good in the NFL. But that's the guy Sean Payton wanted. But, Jarrett Stidham is a name that I know that the nation can at least 75% of Raider fans, if I say the name Jarrett Stidham, you have like an idea in your head of how good that quarterback is. And Bo Nix ain't beating him out right now. He's been by far, Jarrett Stidham has been the best quarterback this offseason in Denver. And that's filled with Jarrett Stidham, Bo Nix, and Zach Wilson. I mean, there's some interesting names on here. Like, the quarterback name that my fiance would probably be able to pick out the most is Stidham, but that's more because of his wife. But, like, they do have the more notable quarterback names. But, like we always say, if you have two quarterbacks, you got none. Well, what happens if you got three? I mean, this is going to be an interesting situation. I am already looking forward to when the Raiders go up against the Broncos in Week 5 and in Week 12. But, like, I saw the report come out from Mike Kliss, and if you don't know who Mike Kliss is, he's like probably the most tied-in beat reporter for the Denver Broncos. And when I saw him say that he's really been struggling, it makes me laugh that the national media is like, Raiders are going to win 6.5 games. They're going to be the worst team in the AFC West. The Raiders haven't been the worst team in the AFC West since 2018. Like, I know it's maybe still kind of recent, but let's be real. The Raiders own the Broncos, and that's going to continue this season. If you don't know, this is FKC week, and some of you are like, Mitch, what the hell are you talking about, FKC week? Well, we do a Madden simulation every single week, and we've been doing one, for all the Raiders games this entire season. Well, this Thursday, Las Vegas Raiders up against the Kansas City Chiefs. I need you guys, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you got those notifications on because we're going to get wild on Thursday. And you can't have FKC week without some giveaways, some prizes, and we're going to bring the energy. So I need y'all to be able to bring the energy, whether you're watching this on live, whether you're watching this on a later date. If you haven't already, spam FKC because this is FKC week. And if I'm going to do a Madden simulation, because when I'm live on Madden, I'm telling you right now, I act like it's a real game. You got to practice how you play. So here's your opportunity if you're new to the show this offseason. Let's get some FKCs down below, and I'm watching this show live right now. I see Top Beat, Sienna, Rudy, Kant, Jacob Serb, Yoda Jenkins, all showing love. So please, before you go, hit me with an FKC, and I'll see you Thursday when the Raiders take on Kansas City on Madden. All right, Jeremy, I figured that you would like this question here. So today is National Cherry Tart, and it's National Apple Strudel Day.
Oh.
Two very good desserts. Which one would you pick?
So, I love toaster strudels.
I do too.
Do you go for the cherry or the apple?
In toaster strudels? I go for the apple and toaster strudels, though if it was a Pop-Tart, I would go strawberry. The strawberry Pop-Tart gives me nostalgia, like, vibes, I guess. Like, if I didn't have the strawberry one when I was a kid, probably wouldn't do it. In this situation, though, cherry tart or apple strudel, if I get ice cream, it's apple strudel every single time.
Yeah.
I'll admit, though.
Oh, but dude, cherry with ice cream.
I love cherry tart. I really do.
I mean,
if I had to pick out of 10 times,
it's like
7 out of the 10, I'm going apple strudel.
You're comparing two, like, it's like apples and oranges, or apples and cherries.
Apples and cherries.
So it's a tough one. If I had to choose one,
yep,
I'd probably go with apple.
Yeah.
Cherry's good, though.
I agree. I would, if I had to pick one, I'm going to go apple strudel.
But, dude, a good cherry toaster strudel sometimes slaps.
But cherry tart, though. Like, I like tart. Like, if I'm going to have desserts, I usually like all the chocolate in the world. But if I eat a dessert that's, I guess, fruit, I like it to be tart. A little sweet.
But I don't think it's talking about the cherries being tart.
No. But, like usually the dessert has got a little bit of a sour factor to it, no?
Yeah, but tart, I think, means it's like...
the little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were saying, like, oh, it's like tart cherries. Could be sweet cherries.
I'm saying, like, usually dessert in general, if it's a tart, is a little sour to it.
No.
Yes. No?
An apple tart is sour?
I think so, yeah.
No.
It's sweet, but it's also got a little sour.
I don't think that's what it means. No.
I think that's what it means. I know it's like the design, but it's also Yes.
You can have like a chocolate tart. Does that make it sour chocolate?
I don't know. Yeah, see, I was in it until that. Now I don't know. Now I don't know.
But yes, like cherries do have that little bit of a sour note to them. Have you had cherries Jubilee?
What?
Cherry, like it's like
I think that's just a you culture.
It's like
thing.
the table side thing where it's like Bananas Foster. Mm-hmm. It's like that kind of, but with cherries.
That's Australian for banana.
And they put a little liquor in there, put some fire on it.
That sounds really good. No, I've had that before. I've actually had that as an ice cream sundae. Sounds gas.
Delicious.
Absolute gas. All right, what do we got here? I see, what up, Glenn? Sienna. Appreciate you. I just saw Elvis say, my username used to be Vibrator. Well, now I'm glad that we got the real name, Elvis. Jacob Serb, are we starting Aidan O'Connell this week in the Sim FKC?
We are.
Yeah? Okay, I don't know. Is that the one you did today? Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, Nico got a super chat to come in. That's good. That's good. Remember, y'all, if you want to get your questions or comments on the show, please use hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat to get up here on screen. We were told that supers were not working correctly, but Nico Laz might have just broke the code here. Noah, how much is the duck race today? Sorry, showed up a bit late. All good, no. You're always here. It's a $10 Venmo today. $10 Venmo to get in for a chance to win. Let me just make sure that I know the exact number before I shout something out. I did just see, I think, Darth Fatass get in twice. All right, so here are the people that I got in. Noah Santana is in, which I'm guessing you probably sent this in before. You're in, Noah. Jamari Murray wants 4 of them. So, Murray, you're going to get in 4 times.
Jamari!
It's unbelievable. Moshav, you in. And then I got Darth. He's going to get in twice. So as it stands right now, it would be a $10 Venmo for the opportunity to win $60. 10 to win 60 here on the Raiders Report. Let's go to Nico. What's up, Nico? Hope you had a good Father's Day, my man. Eating a Panda Sups mint chip creamy right now. Mitch, this shit
slaps.
No fat, Game Life milk, tablespoon sugar-free, chocolate pudding mix, and 2 Oreo Thins as mix-in, 390 calories, 56 grams of protein. So clutch. I might have to steal that recipe. I'm not going to lie. That sounds amazing.
The Oreo Thins takes it over the top.
I'm not even kidding when I say this, and Nico's an OG around here. Panda Sups protein, I actually think, was invented to be used in a Ninja Creamy. It's such a good protein for the Ninja Creamy. If you're like, Mitch, what the heck's the Ninja Creamy? Not a sponsor. Panda Sups is, but not the Ninja Creamy. It's literally a machine that can turn almost anything into ice cream. It's unbelievable. But
a lot like things that you think of.
Yeah, like if you wanted to make a cherry tart, you could.
Somebody's just like, I'm putting hot dogs in there. Mitch said you could turn anything into ice cream. I think that would be Mitch's worst nightmare.
I would say hot dog ice cream or tuna ice cream.
How much for you to eat hot dog ice cream?
That's not happening. That's liverwurst. That's basically liverwurst. My dad on Father's Day sent me a picture of his Father's Day dinner that he made himself. Liver and onions. I'm like, that's just the most dad thing to eat for dinner on the face of the planet. Liver and onions. Never.
That's literally one of the worst jelly bean flavors in our thing.
I mean, they literally made a jelly bean flavor about liver and onion, and he's just chowing down on it. I mean, that'd be like my dad being like, yo, what'd you have for dinner? He's like, dead fish.
Dirty dishwater.
Dirty dishwater.
PG.
Puke. What up, PG? FKC, and can I get a
Raiders?
Yoda. Super chat test. What is a zombie's favorite road?
A dead end.
It's pretty good. I'm not going to lie. That one's pretty good, Yoda. I'll take a drink to that.
Good joke. I liked it. Top beats. Yo, Mitch Chugs. Any concerns about new rumors about Getsy and our offense not in sync yet? I know it's a new system, but in my opinion, Getsy has been suspect since day one, which it must be a weird position to go in, Mitch, of like knowing somebody else had the job and then turned down the job and then you got that job.
Yep.
Like, could you imagine, like, right before you get hired here at Chat Sports, they're like, oh, yeah, the last guy, he quit on his third day because he didn't know how to make a thumbnail.
Yeah. I'll say this. Any adult, don't ever quit your job after 3 days. Second note on that, I mean, I do think, I'll say this, Top Beats 1, you should watch our show on Friday, or I want to say the video that I put out Friday talked about all of this stuff that you're bringing up here. Am I really worried about the Luke Getsy offense? Yeah, like, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't want the Raiders even to hire Getsy in the first place. I will admit I've been sort of, persuading myself, because if the Raiders do have a plan, and the plan is to do a lot of 12 personnel, Getsy has been good with tight ends. That's a fact. I'm more nervous because I'm not a believer in the Raiders quarterback room in Gardner or in Aiden. The running back room also does scare me quite a bit. But then there is also like that other part of, I mean, it's June. You know what I mean? You got June. You got two brand new quarterbacks entering a brand new system. You have a new look in your offensive line. A lot of different moving parts around. And then you also have a Raiders defense that I believe is one of the best defenses in the NFL going into their third year now with Patrick Graham, and then going into technically their second season with Antonio Pierce. So you have a defense that's way more talented with a regime that has a lot more continuity going up against a offense that has way less continuity, learning a brand new system and less talented. So like I'm not going to get too wild and crazy about it yet, but it's definitely going to be something that we monitor. Jeremy, what's up, brother? Can I get a shout out? It's my birthday. I can do one better.
One of the bodyguards.
Jeremy, one of the bodyguards. Happy birthday to Mr. Jeremy Cool. You want to do it?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jeremy Cole. Happy birthday to you.
Dude, I almost feel like we gotta buy like one of those
the things that like what's it called?
It's like auto-tune.
Auto-tune.
Yeah, we gotta buy like a mic. I actually don't. Maybe we wouldn't be allowed to. Like, I don't know, if we bought auto-tune, do you think, because YouTube's kind of weird sometimes with music and all that, if it was too close to T-Pain, they're like, shut that shit down.
Maybe. I don't know.
It would be kind of fun, though. If we could get, like, different voices, it'd be kind of fun. I'll have to look into it. Frank, you're in for the duck race. Going to be twice there from Mr. Frank. I got Frank in, and then my dad decided to get in. Giggity, Richie, you in, and then I also see Nico Laz is in.
It's for me for later.
Which one? What you sent me? Okay. We got to look it up. I'm kind of curious. If you could just like record somebody talking, and then that was your voice.
Sienna said, happy birthday is a copyrighted song. It may get taken down.
Happy birthday is but it's not.
But it's not like
an official person singing.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's like me singing it.
I'll tell you this: if Happy Birthday ever shows up on the list of things you're not allowed to sing on YouTube, we're getting shut down. They just go back and look at all of our videos. What's up, Sienna? What do you call a nun that sleepwalks? A Roman Catholic. You get that one? That's a good one. Dylan, peach cobbler or apple pie?
That's tough.
With ice cream, apple pie. By itself, peach cobbler. Or is cobbler with ice cream?
I think they're both with ice cream.
If they're both with ice cream,
I might go peach cobbler.
Peach cobbler in the summer. Like, I would say peach cobbler from May to August.
Peach cobbler with vanilla bean ice cream.
I might even go March. Give me March to August peach cobbler. The remaining months, I'm going to go apple pie.
Yeah, apple pie. I mean, when you get a
fall.
good apple pie, vanilla ice cream, and I take it a step further. A little caramel sauce on top.
Oh, yeah. A little cinnamon action. Yeah, caramel. I actually almost bought some caramel sauce the other day because I've been obsessed with, which I literally had to I threw away probably 12 Oreos this morning, which you know how difficult that is for me to throw away food. I've been on a binge, dude. Like Alex.
Oreos are so good.
Well, we did they had like a buy one, get one free. So we ended up buying the extra pack. It was double stuffed Oreos. And then I got the protein powder mix with like the pancake mix with the bear on front. And you just mix that up, you dunk the Oreo, and then you air fry it. Mm. I'm not kidding you. I was deleting rows of Oreos a night. And I got up this morning, I had a little bit of a tummy ache, and I was like, I got to throw these away.
This is bad.
This is a disaster. I'm getting up in the morning, I'm going for a run, I'm working out, and I'm like, how am I not losing weight? It's probably because I had 12 Oreos a night for the last week. King, what's up, King Shab? Are the Eagles trading James Bradberry? It's an interesting question. It's been a topic that we have talked about for months on this show, and we talked about, like, this was probably before the NFL draft. It was, some players that could be dealt on draft night, could be dealt before the draft. I want to say that Bradberry is on the books this season for about $12 million, and the Eagles can cut him. And I want to say, now that it's post-June 1st, I don't know if it's as easy with the numbers, like with the figures, but I do know if they trade him, they eat his contract, and if the Raiders were to trade for James Bradberry, they would only owe Bradberry $1.2 million. So, like, I know he was dog shit last year, like booty cheeks, but Bradberry also has those ties to Patrick Graham. He also would, I think, fit like a veteran presence, if you will. And for $1.2 million, I think the Philadelphia Eagles would be willing to say, you know what? We'll take a 7th-round pick for him. We don't want him anymore. He was that bad for us. Wipe your hands clean and move on.
I do also wonder, that whole Eagles defense and team took a little bit of a step back last year.
Oh, yeah.
Like the pass rush was not as good as it had been.
I got to give you your flowers because when the Raiders signed Marcus Epps, it was a move that a lot of people weren't 100% sure of. And Chuggs was like, dude, this guy's like the captain of the defense for Philadelphia. And they did lose a lot of pieces, but Epps led that Philadelphia Eagles defense back in 22 in snaps. You lose a player like that, I mean, that's monumental for your team. He was a captain.
And
one of the captains.
I know we always say, like, certain positions aren't as important as others. We, talking about linebackers, running backs, safeties. But if you lose both, like, all your players from one year to the next, and you don't really replace them, your team's going to struggle. Like, the Eagles did that with linebacker and safety.
Oh, it was bad.
Look at what happened last year. The linebacker and safety unit sucked for the Eagles. So
no, the Eagles are a lot like the Raiders, where they haven't had a good linebacker in so long. Now, the Raiders obviously got Robert Spillane last season, but both of those teams have really struggled to find a linebacker.
The best linebacker that I can remember playing for the Eagles,
I have my name,
in the last 10 years, Nigel Bradham.
I was going to say, when I think of Eagles linebacker, the last linebacker that I can honestly think of is Jeremiah Trotter.
What? That's way far back.
A legit linebacker.
That's way. They had D'Amico Ryans.
Who? I'm just kidding. I almost gave you a heart attack. Who? D'Amico. Coming up next here on the show, we're going to get into some more news and rumors, but I got one coming in here from Can't Walk. Apple pie with a slice of cheddar cheese.
I've heard this before. I think this is a Midwest thing. Petey, is this a North thing?
Carl, don't do this to me.
I think this is a Midwest thing.
My question is the cheese warmed up? Like, is it a cold piece of apple pie with a cold piece of cheddar cheese?
I think it's like melted on top.
I just don't see how that's good. Sienna, cheddar cheese is so good on apple pie.
So the only
explain it to me. How?
Charcuterie boards. That's the only thing I can think of. Because whenever I have a charcuterie board, I'm mixing.
But what cheese are you? I'm not mixing cheddar.
But I'll have like some cheddar with a grape, some cheddar with an apple. Maybe.
If I'm going to use cheese on apple pie, I'd probably use brie.
Yeah,
a sweeter cheese. I don't know. Like I don't think of cheddar as a sweeter cheese.
Brie's not sweet though. Brie's like creamy.
I think. Well, when I eat brie cheese, I eat it with sweet things.
Yeah,
I guess.
Like you can put honey on it or something.
That's what I mean.
I don't know.
Top beats, pass big time. Would you eat apple pie with a slice of cheddar cheese? Why for yes and for no?
I got to ask Sperry. I think this is a Midwest thing.
Why for yes and for no? My next question would be, do we do a taste test here on the Raiders Report? Apple pie, slice of cheddar cheese. Is that a Midwest thing?
Cheddar cheese on apple pie? Not a Midwest thing.
I mean, it just sounds horrific. It sounds horrific.
Who's doing this?
There's a lot of hell nods.
I don't think it's the South.
Billy Davis says yes. Lost in Time says yes, it's bomb. Warm pie, cold cheese? You lost me. You lost me.
Also, I feel like the cheese would have to be thin. Like a thin, like I don't want a thick piece of cheese. Like it'd have to be a thin layer on top.
When have you, like, I don't know, I love cheese. Love cheese. And I'm always usually the person that's like, give me more cheese. This is a situation where I agree.
Less is more.
If I'd rather have a shredded bag of cheese and I'm taking one piece of shred. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm just dropping it on there alfalfa style. Like, does that count? Dude, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I can't walk. Carl, you know you're my guy. I can't walk with you on this one. Lord Cameron Abbott, what's up, my brother? Did you check if the MVP jersey was sent to the same address as the signed helmet? I have the helmet, which was months later, so I'm just concerned. We actually talked about this, I want to say last week. Cameron, the problem are the jersey sizes. So for whatever reason, where we order our jerseys from, which we order everything through Nike, and we also order stuff through Fanatics, sizes medium, large, and extra large and 2XL for a very long time they ran out of sizes. So I'm going to say we had to go to a new jersey provider. We get some that have the right sizes. We get some that aren't. But they are ordered. We're just waiting for them to come in stock. Like, I forget which month is, you were what, April, the MVP? No, maybe not. February. Yeah, so like February, March, April, and May, all of those jerseys have been ordered. They just haven't been delivered because the size of the jersey isn't there. Like, the jerseys that you guys are going to get are like really good jerseys. Like, I'm not just going to get you guys a shitty one. So
can't walk.
They're coming, I promise. Mellow out the sweetness. See, I don't want that. See, my thing, if I eat a dessert, I want sweet on top of sweet on top of sweet. Like, Alex might actually like that because she doesn't have a sweet tooth. I do.
I don't know. The more they talk about it, the more I've been getting into it.
I think we got to try it.
PG, German thing.
Cheese is the bomb. I
don't know if you can say German and bomb in the.
I also don't know if cheese is a German thing. Like, I will admit, when I was in Germany, I feel like I ate less cheese in Germany than I do now.
I actually will say the thing that's kind of getting me more and more into it is my favorite style of popcorn is actually, shout out to Matthew Peterson, Chicago style.
So what, cheddar cheese and caramel?
Half cheddar cheese, half caramel. And I love getting a mix of both of those together. I think it would be good.
I'll say this. You saying that makes me more now inclined to try it. But I would still just rather have plain cheddar cheese and plain caramel corn.
Don't knock it.
Yeah, at this point, we got to try it.
Ron, in Vegas at the pool with my family listening to the show before my baby starts her camp on Wednesday.
Oh, dude,
Little Raiderette.
Congratulations. Yes, so for those of you that do not know, Ron, he's a frequent flyer on our Zoom calls, and his little daughter, which I'm guessing is the one pictured on the screen right now, she is... The Raiderettes are doing like a new, like, young Raiderette. I forget what the age group is, Ron, and I think I remember the age group. I also don't want to put the age of your daughter out there. If you want to do it, that's totally up to you. But congratulations on that, man. That sounds like a hell of a Father's Day weekend. I'm sure you're definitely proud. I know you are. I mean, we've talked about it multiple times. But congratulations to you. A lot of fun. And when you're out in Vegas, listening to the Raiders report, daughter's about to be a Raiderette. I mean, that's Father's Day goals at a whole nother level.
Spam man. LV for Ron's daughter. Let's go.
Let's freaking go, man.
Next generation Raider fan.
I mean,
they're going to be the ones holding the torch here down the road for years to come.
Down the road.
You got to pass the Raider fandom down from generation to generation.
That's how it goes. LCA, you are in our duck race. If you don't know, it's a $10 Venmo for a chance to get in. Right now, as it stands, $10 Venmo, you'd have the opportunity to win. $90 here on the Raiders Report.
All right, let's get into some more Raiders rumors. Coming up, some very juicy rumors around some guys on the defense. And could the Raiders be possibly signing somebody from the UFL?
Oh, man. A lot to talk about. Let's break it all down for you right now here on... Actually, I got to change my jersey. That's on me. What a setup, though, right? Huh?
What a cliff.
What a absolute cliff.
You're good.
If anything, it was a cliffhanger, like a curveball, because hanging and banging.
Lord Cameron Abbott, thanks. I just don't want a random person getting my MVP jersey since that's some Raider Report pride. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Just imagine, Cameron, you're just walking down the street, you go into a restaurant, and you see somebody with a Feb Bang MVP jersey on. How mad would Lord Cameron Abbott be?
Unsubscribe.
That'd be wild. Don't worry. All good. We know you're just trying to make sure your ducks are in a row, so we'll help you row your ducks.
Row your ducks. Gently down the stream. Here we go, Chugs. You ready?
I'm ready.
Coming up, let's get into some news here around the silver and black. Coming up today here on the Raiders Report, bad news for Matthew Butler. I'll talk about it a little bit. Will Luke Masterson make the roster? The Las Vegas Review-Journal released their 53-man. Did Masterson make the team? And then, could the silver and black sign some UFL players? For those that do not know, the championship game for the UFL was on Sunday, and it was a shutout, 25-0. Sounds like the Stallions back-to-back champs. If you haven't already, make sure you guys click that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. That way, you never miss anything going on around the Raiders Report. First story coming up here on today's show, Luke Masterson. Is he going to make the Raiders roster? I'm going to give this one 3 just win babies, and I'm going to say that it is pretty likely that the linebacker ends up making this list. Now, I'll admit, I have talked about Masterson a lot probably in the last 2 to 3 weeks because he's been a player that I've said, I don't know if he's going to make the team. And then over the past 2 weeks, the reports that have been starting to pop up here around the third-year linebacker out of Wake Forest make me more and more inclined to say that I do think that he's going to end up making it. When Vincent Bonsignore from the Las Vegas Review-Journal released his 53-man, he had Masterson on this list. Also, it was reported by Tashawn Reed. So you have the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Vincent Bonsignore saying that Masterson's predicted to make the team. And then you got Tashawn Reed from The Athletic saying that he's the linebacker 3 over Tommy Eichenberg, over Amari Burney. So when I hear that, I'm going, now you got 2 places that are well credited saying that Masterson is in that top 3 of this linebacker room. If you're a top 3 linebacker on this team, you're obviously going to end up making the team. The 5 linebackers that Vincent Bonsignore said end up making the 53-man, Spillane, Divine, Tommy, Luke, Amari Burney. No real surprises on here, but to me, I think if you would have asked a lot of Raider fans last month, out of the 5 linebackers that I just showed you, who's the one that's the least likely to make the team? I think a lot of people would say Masterson. And, he had some spurts last season where he was good. There was also some spurts I thought as a rookie that he played, halfway decent. He definitely got thrown into the fire a lot as a rookie, which it is what it is. But there's not too many UDFAs that have 33 games of playing experience. He started 7 games as a rookie. He started only 1 game last year. You saw the snaps go down as well when Antonio Pierce took over. But, you're in your 3rd year. sounds like the Raiders are pretty confident in him. The beat reporters continue to pipe out a lot of very good information on him, but doesn't mean that he ends up making this team. I want to know from all of y'all. It's going to be the pinned comment here on today's show. Do you keep him? Do you cut him? What will the Las Vegas Raiders do with Luke Masterson? Will he make that 53-man? My answer after this YouTube ad break. For me to give something 3 just win babies, you probably already know where I stand, and I am going to say that 75-80% chance I would say Masterson does end up making this team. Now, maybe a few other players end up, I don't know, sticking out a little bit more. I'll also say because of the fact that the Raiders have these new special teams rules, Tom McMahon, Raiders special teams coordinator, said that they are going to rely on linebackers a little bit more. But, if you cut them, you save $985,000, which, for the Raiders NFL teams, not a lot of money. You're only going to eat $3K. He did play in only 24 defensive snaps the final 5 games. Not great there. And yes, the Raiders did draft Tommy Eichenberg, so a lot of people, including myself, thought Eichenberg would be the linebacker 3. There's still plenty of time, but at this moment right now, it does sound like Masterson is that linebacker 3. From his numbers from his first 2 years in the NFL, you can see as a rookie, he had to play a lot more snaps, and that was more to do with some injuries that popped up at the linebacker spot. Last year didn't get as many runs or, snaps, if you will. But, when I think about numbers, and this is why I always tell people, sometimes you got to be a little bit careful when you look at tackling numbers, because when you look at the numbers in 2022, somebody like, oh, wow, he had 59 tackles his rookie season, only 27 in 2023. Well, if you like PFF grades, then check these out, because this is a very, very different tale of the tape, right? Overall grade as a rookie, 30.8. It's one of the lowest grades I've ever seen from an entire season. Though last season, very limited sample size, an 86.9 overall PFF grade. In his third year, you're entering another year with Patrick Graham. You're entering another year now with Antonio Pierce. Can Masterson take that step forward? Can he get better yet again? And I always say on the show that I'm willing to bet on our defensive staff, because I do think we have one of the best defensive coaching staffs in the entire league. But what's intriguing about Masterson is I believe that the Raiders end up keeping Amari Burney. You're obviously going to keep Tommy Eichenberg. Is this team going to roll with 5 linebackers, a team that I do kind of anticipate most of the time only plays 2 linebackers for the majority of their main defense? Coming up next here on the show, let's talk about Matthew Butler and why I'm saying there's bad news for the third-year defensive tackle out of the University of Tennessee, though he's probably happy that they got a dub in the College World Series. I know for me personally, that's the team I'm rooting for. Before I get into the bad news around Matthew Butler, if you're wondering, Mitch, how many videos do you make every day? We put out at least 1 video every day, and we're also putting out a ton of videos. Every single week we go live, and I know that so many people are busy and don't have the opportunity, don't have the time to watch all of our videos. Heck, Ron Raspberry's in Las Vegas right now with his daughter who's about to become a Raiderette. You guys have a lot of other important things to do, especially Father's Day weekend. My point is this. I don't take any days off. We don't take any days off here. And if you don't take any days off either, I want you to check out all the videos that we've made this month in June. That link is going to be available to y'all down in the comments and in the description of today's show. chatsports.com/RaidersJune2024 is the link. You can check out every single video that we've made. OTAs, minicamp, free agent targets, trade targets, cut candidates. It's all on there. June 2024. Check out all of our videos. All right, let's talk about Matthew Butler now. And I made a video last offseason about the Raiders cutting Matthew Butler, and a lot of people got upset about it. It did end up being true. He did not make the 53-man, but he was able to get re-signed, hung around on the practice squad a little bit. And in terms of Butler getting cut this offseason, I'm going to say it's a coin flip. I'm going to give this one 2 just win babies and say I can make an entire show around here are the 10 reasons why the Raiders are going to cut Butler. I can also make a show around here are the 10 reasons why the Raiders would decide to keep Matthew Butler. Now, the Las Vegas Review-Journal, they released that 53-man roster projection, and Butler was left off of their list. And I know that sometimes we can get caught up in recency bias a little bit because Butler did not participate or practice during Raiders minicamp. It was only 2 days, but it's still I do think it's an important thing to note. From the defensive tackles that ended up making it, it was Wilkins, Jenkins, Butler, Byron Young, and Nesta Jade Silvera. So when I've done my 53-man roster projections in the past, I've kept 6 defensive tackles. I'll also say, it can depend on how you view Tyree Wilson, where the way that I view Wilson is the same way I view Brock Bowers, of Wilson's going to play defensive end. He's going to play defensive tackle. Brock Bowers is going to play tight end. He's going to play slot wide receiver. But like what I thought was interesting, because to me, the final piece here for defensive tackle could come down to Nesta Jade Silvera, and it could come down to Matthew Butler. So let's play a little bit of a game here. If you can only keep one, I want you to type 91 for Butler, and yes, he changed his number yet again. And then Nesta Jade's going to be rocking 99. If you could keep only one player on this current Raiders roster out of these two names right here, who are you rolling with? And the reason why I am going to end up going with number 99 over number 91 is for two big reasons. The number one reason is the coaching connection. If Antonio Pierce has any kind of connection to a player, and I'm trying to get that like Jack Jones swagger, where everybody thought Jack Jones was nothing, see you later, ends up coming to the Raiders. Now he's, I think, one of the better corners. He's a top 30, top 40 corner in the NFL, outside corner. Now you have Matthew Butler. Not part of this regime. Don't love some of the things that I've heard from other Raiders players around him. Now, it's not recency. That's over a year ago. But what I think the Raiders need more is a nose tackle. And to me, Butler is not a nose tackle, where I think Nesta Jade at 6'2", 305 pounds, is a better anchor than what Butler is overall. So because of that, I'm going to rely on our defensive tackle depth a little bit more, and I'm going to say that I think Nesta Jade does have a higher ceiling than Matthew Butler. So for that reason, I'm going to end up keeping him. Coming up next here, could the Raiders sign a player from the UFL? This has been a question that I've gotten multiple times when we've been live. It's also been a question that I've been asked just from, other fans out there, like, hey, who are some UFL players that we can look at, target? I'm going to tell you who they are here in just a moment. But for those that do not know, it's June, and it's also FKC week. So every video that I do this week, I'm not even shitting you. If I'm going to do a Madden simulation, I'm going to bring my A game. If I'm going to treat it like a game day, I'm going to treat it like a game day. I'm going to treat it like a game week. So every video that I put out this week, spam FKC down below. This game's going to be going down on Thursday, June 20th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific is when we're going to be going live. I don't want you to miss it. It's going to be a hell of a time. You got to keep your friends close, but man, oh man, when it's the Kansas City Chiefs, you got to keep your enemies just a little bit closer. If you want us to take a screenshot, save when we are going to be live for all of our Madden simulations this offseason. You can see the dates. They are in the parentheses. If I have to switch something up, I'll let you know. Just another reason, though, to subscribe to the Raiders Report. Content every single day. Let's go to the final story here on the Raiders Report. Are the Silver and Black going to sign a UFL player? This is a really difficult question. I will say this. I'm only going to give it one just win, baby. So I do think there's a small percent chance that they do end up signing a UFL player. I'll say that there is a 3 just win babies chance, though, that they try out at least one guy. And the reason why that I'm confident they at least try out one player is because of Tom Telesco and his... He's done this path before where he has signed XFL players. He has tried out UFL players. He has brought in some of these younger guys, and maybe Telesco's a sucker for a good UDFA just because he's had so much success finding UDFAs in the past for, the Chargers teams like, Brandon Facyson, UDFA. Tyrell Williams, he was a UDFA. Austin Eckler, UDFA, right? So, to me, the Raiders have some success. I also love that Chugs put Dwayne The Rock Johnson on this thumbnail. I appreciate the fact that it's silver and black, too. It makes it even better. But Telesco has signed 5 XFL players from the moment that he was with the Chargers as a GM. And some of those players, made significant starts and made some significant playing time. So the fact that, you have some of these guys, don't really know how well they fit in, which, I like this question a lot from Top Beats. It says, long shot question, UFL MVP Adrian Martinez. Do you think the Raiders might consider him asking for a friend? No. I think Adrian Martinez is a really good story. I think what you end up seeing is the UFL, the talent discrepancy, especially at the quarterback position, is insane. I will admit, I did put Adrian Martinez on this list of potential UFL targets, and I did it more from a not so much of a Raiders standpoint, but just if you were to ask me, hey, Mitch, who are the, top players most likely to get a tryout into the NFL? These would be the guys. One of the names that you might remember is Justin Hall. He was a practice squad receiver for the Raiders, I want to say 2 seasons ago. Out of all the names that are on this list, though, Hakeem Butler might be the one that I'd throw out there because Antonio Pierce does have ties to Butler from Arizona State days. On the defensive side of the football, Breeland Speaks, defensive end. Markel Roby maybe at corner. Like, I know the Raiders showed some interest in Stiggers, Quantez Stiggers from the CFL. He was a player that was drawing some buzz to the silver and black. Again, though, that's pre-draft recollection. Marquette King would be fun. Though, I'll be honest, if Marquette King's coming to the Raiders, I'm not going to be the one that breaks that story. That's going to be Graff, probably. Graff and Marquette are going to be on top of some dugout on the Renegade Stadium, or I saw a picture of Graff today sitting on a goalpost. I thought that was a fine. I don't know what it is, but the UFL, could the Raiders sign any of these players? I will say there's going to be some interest, but legitimately, like signing a player, I am only going to give it one just win, baby. Telesco has done it in the past. For that reason, I figured I would at least bring it up, give you some names to think about, throw them out there. And if there's any other UFL players, you're like, dude, Mitch, watch the tape on this guy. Go check him out here. I'll do it. More than happy to do so. I just know that the UFL championship game was this past Sunday, and I knew I was going to get some questions about it this upcoming week. But UFL, we'll see if Telesco, how interested he is. I do think, though, the Raiders end up trying at least one player out. What's the best mascot in sports? Today is National Mascot Day. And my answer is going to be very biased. I'm going to be honest. It's going to be a very, very biased answer, but I don't think it's a bad answer.
What is it?
Mr. Met.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think if you were to honestly ask people who the best mascot is, I do think it depends of what the sport is. You could also say, I heard there's a school. It's a
So I actually have a list.
There's a theater school in North Carolina.
I have a list of some of the weirdest mascots out there. There's the banana slug.
Yep, I've heard of that one.
From the University of California, Santa Cruz.
Yep.
We've got Artie the Artichoke from Scottsdale Community College.
What about the Long Beach Dirtbags? The Dirtbags in there?
Oh, I don't see that.
Is Scrody in there?
I see Speedy the Geoduck, which...
I don't even know.
Look up Speedy the Geoduck and tell me that doesn't look wrong.
Speedy?
From Evergreen State College. The Geoduck.
Do you know what a geoduck is?
No, but it looks weird AF.
I'll say this. It looks exactly like a geoduck. It does.
Maybe something that should be our mascot is Keggy the Keg.
Keggy the Keg?
Keggy the Keg.
I like that one.
There's the Fighting Okra from Delta State University.
I think this. I think...
The Purple Cow from...
There's only one right answer.
What?
Scrody.
Scrody.
There's an actual college. It's a performing arts school. I believe it's in North Carolina. They are Scrody. It's a penis, and it has blue balls. Not an exaggeration. It is unbelievable.
That's awesome.
I think that's one that they might regret, but it has gotten them some notoriety. I do actually think, though, the most popular mascot in terms of, like, sales, if that makes sense, is the Philly Fanatic.
Oh, that's a good one, too.
So, like, in terms of, like, sales generated, my buddy makes Bryce Harper's bat.
Uh-huh.
And he's a big Phillies fan, and they get a lot of orders in for Fanatic stuff, and he literally told me, he's like, I believe the Philly Fanatic is generates the most sales amongst mascots in sports.
So the only one that I can think that rivals it, and OG Bloodstain just said it, Petey said it the other day, Benny the Bull. I think Benny the Bull has to be up there.
Benny the Bull is absolutely up there.
He says number one.
I don't think he is actually number one, but...
He said the Philly Fanatic.
Well, no, I'm saying sales generated. I don't have the exact numbers in front of you.
There's a lot of Benny the Bull gear.
Oh, I don't disagree. I might.
Does somebody have a tattoo where their belly button is Benny the Bull's mouth?
True, I don't know. Huh?
So he bought the tattoo?
Yeah, I don't know what that. I mean, I'm just going off of what I was told, but because I said Mr. Met, and my friends were like,
The real question is, the Raiders don't have a mascot. What other teams can we think of that don't have a mascot?
I feel like most NFL teams don't.
Really?
Maybe not most.
I was going to say, I think a lot of them do.
I mean, I feel like if it's a team that has an animal, that's easy.
Yeah, there was another team that didn't have it. There was the Raiders and
well, the Giants don't.
the Giants. The Bears don't?
Yeah, the Bears.
You said who?
The Bears do.
Oh, the Packers don't? Yeah.
Like
They have a cheese head, but that's not really a mascot.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Oregon. So if we're talking about just mascots, I think Oregon Duck has to be up there, even with Benny the Bull, because the Oregon Duck is iconic.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of another
People
mascot.
are saying Gorilla Rilla as the mascot.
I mean, if Gorilla Rilla says that he's the mascot for the Raiders, I'm okay with it. But there's also like...
Petey's about to come in with some fact about...
No disrespect to Gorilla Rilla.
Something about Benny the Bull.
What about Violator, though? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's not about Benny the Bull. Benny the Bull is number one. Fun story. I went to a Bulls game on my birthday like 15 years ago. They played the Mavs, and this guy was there in a Mavs jersey, and they did like the crowd cam, and he tried to like make it about himself over a kid. So Benny the Bull walked over and took this guy's Mavs hat off, and then attached it to a balloon, and we all watched it go to the top of the United Center. So Benny the Bull is forever number one for that.
I hate to break it to you. You know that's staged.
No, this one wasn't staged. Because I know the staged ones. I promise you, this one was not staged. But what I was just gonna add,
it has to be staged.
So-
I promise.
So they just stole this guy's hat.
Yes.
And they're like, not staged. You just don't have a hat anymore.
Correct.
So you're how old there? 10?
No. This was in 2011 or 12. So I would have been like 11 or 12. No, I was 13 or 14. I was 14.
Were you 10? No.
No.
11.
Well, you said 10. I started thinking 2010. I got
Well, you
lost up in
said
the
15
dates.
years ago, so that's where I was.
I know.
like-
I just ballparked.
Okay.
But all I wanted to add to this, it was not Benny the Bull motivated. Live mascots versus human and costume mascots. Do the live mascots win every single time?
It depends.
Because it really only exists in college. But like Colorado's like fucking the Buffalo they have.
Yeah, I'm
That's
more of
tough
an-
to beat right
I'm more
there.
of an Ugga fan. I'm a
No,
dog.
Ugga's the worst mascot in the world.
Why? It's a dog.
No. Dogs are great. Ugga sucks. Ugga can't even breathe on its own. It dies at the age of 6.
I know that, but
Actually,
World's worst dog name.
it's a nice name.
It's a set of initials you put together.
I think I'm more of a fan of the what's it called mascot? Like
The fake one?
yeah.
Yeah.
If you want some nightmare fuel, I had Petey look this up the other day. Look up the Mavs old mascot.
Mavs old mascot?
Yes. It's like a human incarnation of a basketball.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about now.
It's scary.
Yep. Well, they still kind of have him. Like, he's still kind of at the games now, but
He's not their mascot.
No, he's not the main one.
That used to
anymore.
be the mascot.
Yeah, that's horrific.
LA
Mavs, man.
LA Crash Dog, I'm up. What's up, fam? Raider Nation for life, real one for life, Semper Fi.
What's up, Gunny?
What did I miss?
What did I miss? Honestly, you haven't missed much. It's been a bit of a slow day today.
Oh, and Venom Sosa.
What's
up?
Crash Dog. OG. Benny the Bull is the GOAT. I don't know if he's the GOAT. If anything, he's a bull. Lord, FKC, they are a trash team without Mahomes. Unfoundedly for us, that's the position that can change a team from bad to good. We have an overall better team. I agree that the Raiders do have a better team than Kansas City. I think what scares me, though, is the Chiefs last season were not good. They just had Patrick Mahomes. Their defense was a lot better than what they got credit for, but I mean, they still have some unbelievable talent. Like Chris Jones, still obviously an unbelievable player, best defensive tackle in the NFL. But like, I do think that if I'm an NFL team, if you figure out the defensive tackle position and you get a stud guy like Chris Jones that opens up a lot of things, and you can dominate on the defensive line, really helps out your defense, which I'm hoping the Raiders could do. And then, yeah, when you have the greatest quarterback on the planet and Patrick Mahomes, it helps out a lot, man. It helps out.
Chase Sr. just sent me this one. He said Stuff, the Magic mascot. It's kind of like
Stuff?
it looks like it would be the Philly Fanatics' cousin. Like they are from the same universe.
Really?
His name's Stuff.
Just Stuff.
Stuff.
I feel like that's weird. Let's go to PG.
Gritty.
Steve the Pirate from Dodgeball. I love this reference. And PG, if you're a big Steve the Pirate fan,
I knew you were about to say
dude,
it.
I got to figure out what's the show called.
Resident Alien.
Resident Alien. PG, you got to check it out. If you like Steve the Pirate, Resident Alien, I think you'll also enjoy it. When I was in, I want to say it was beginning of high school, there was a local church by me, because of the movie Dodgeball. They would do a dodgeball tournament every year. And all the money was raised would go to the church. I forget how much it was to get in, whatever. My cousin Anthony, they were like the defending champs. They were called something like Freeze or Cold. It was something that. So we made a team the exact opposite called Heat Wave. And I forget what happened. I ended up hurting my arm somehow, so I couldn't play.
Of course.
So I was Patches O'Houlihan. I literally bought a wheelchair. I bought a fake beard. I had a leather jacket, and then we put patches all over it. And I wheeled around for an entire night. And we didn't win, but that's like one of my favorite
Worth
movies.
it.
I even brought a wrench. Reminder, y'all, if you want to get in for our 50-50 raffle, I do got to switch up my jersey one more time. I actually just got another brand new one.
Ooh.
Another brand new one. Going to wear this one for the very first time.
Oh, you fancy, huh?
Get in while you still can.
Girthy Raiders says if you can dodge a truck, you can dodge a ball.
That's how it works.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Also, reminder, later on tonight, NBA Finals, Game 5. Boston versus Dallas. We'll have watch parties for both teams going on. Allie Barefoot, the amazing Allie Barefoot, will be hosting our Celtics channel as always. And then we have Cooperstein and Mr. Harry on our Mavs stream. So go check them out today. If you want to rock with some Chat Sports peeps for the NBA Finals, that'll be a fun time.
You said the great Allie Barefoot, and just nothing for Coop and Harry.
I said Harry.
The amazing Allie Barefoot.
Allie's here.
And
She's right there. I'm looking at the back of her head.
It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's redunculous.
Everybody spam salami.
I'll say this right now.
Spam salami.
It's totally up to Allie. All right. You want something extra to just prove to you why you guys should go hang out with Allie tonight at the Celtics game? I want you to tell them what you did this weekend, because it's amazing.
What did I do this weekend?
You did.
I went to go surprise my dad for Father's Day. I flew back to Virginia Beach, and I surprised him. His back was turned to me on the beach. I put my hand on his shoulder, and he starts bawling his eyes out, drops his drink on the beach, and just gives me a big fat bear hug, because I haven't seen him in 6 months. And that was my first time being home since moving to Dallas.
You call it a bear hug because of your last name, or is it just...
Oh, no, he's ginormous. Yeah, he's like a
Well,
former...
that makes sense. Your brother's pretty gigantic,
He's like a
too.
former tight end, so when he hugs you, it suffocates you. So it's... But the bear hug does make sense. Barefoot's bear hug. So.
Barefoot's bear hug. I like it.
just
I mean,
this-
come on. That's a win. That's a winning
I
story.
just hear this touching story, and I
Look over, and the only thing I see in the chat is salami.
So Raider Nation came to the Celtics watch party on Friday night, and everybody's spamming salami, and then all the Celtics fans are like, you're in the wrong chat. This is not for that. And I was like, unfortunately, this is the right chat. Let me retell the salami story once more. So I appreciate the salami comments.
We're going to have to get... That might be the Raiders Report new mascot, the Fighting Salamis.
Dude, I'm down.
You're in?
We can dress Tex as it.
Yeah, I don't know if I want that. I mean, I feel like if anybody at the Chat
Joey.
Sports Studios...
That'd be a big salami.
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
Cullen.
Nah, Cullen's more like a meatball.
Could you?
You know?
I could see Cullen.
What? That broke DK's neck.
Hold on, wait.
I mean, he is. It's the truth.
I feel like this is what Cullen would look like
What?
if we were. Hold on one second. Wait.
Holy shit, dude. You know what? I might change my answer. It's either that. It might be Coop then.
What did I do?
If we were the Fighting Salamis,
For those that don't know, today is National Mascot Day.
This would be our mascot if we were the Fighting Salamis.
I mean, that is a mix. I'm not going to lie. The Fighting Salamis is right there.
I actually didn't realize what that was on there. Apparently that's Jonah Hill's signature.
What?
The little thing on the picture. I just went on Google and I looked up a picture.
Oh, that Z?
Yes, apparently that's Jonah Hill's signature.
That looks like my signature on any touchpad.
Says Jonah Hill authenticated, hand signed, accepted. Ask me about my wiener 8 to 10 photo.
It looks like he signed that with his wiener.
Do we buy this?
No.
Can I put it on the Brex, please?
That signature looks. I mean, let's be real.
That can't be real.
If it is, that's the worst signature I've. How does that even work on a line, on a dotted line? You're putting that on a dotted line?
If you just showed me that signature and gave me 1,000 guesses, I don't think I would come up with Jonah Hill.
You'd give me 1,000,000 guesses. 10 million.
That's awful.
That's never going to happen. My number one guess, Zorro. Who signed this picture? My answer is Zorro.
Oh, my goodness.
If you want to get in our 50-50 raffle, $10 Venmo in order to do it.
Can we get that, at least the mascot costume? The hot dog.
You just want to get a hot dog costume. Who wears it?
Cullen. Or Coop.
All right, I have a better idea for you. How about, and you know, like we do certain things like for when we hit something, you got to do a boot. What if we get the salami costume, and I don't know, like we make up some deal during the show where we get this XYZ, you got to put on the salami costume.
Oh, there's
what?
There's a salami costume.
Or we get the Geoduck costume, and you can just wear that. It's basically the same thing.
How do we feel about this? Hold on.
All right, I'm looking at it.
Putting it in.
Jeremy's going to look. He's going to see if we should buy. He's going to show a picture up on screen. I'm not going to lie. That kind of looks like you. That's the exact same facial hair you have. I don't know if we can wear that. Do you think we could?
Read the company name.
I can't see it. Dickens Hard Salami?
Dixon's Meats.
Well, we have what? Dixo Solid Dixon.
Yeah.
Where's Dixo Solid Dixon? He's on the show. Yoda, now eat it the long way. I mean, I'll say this. What if that's just like our new thing? We find a food every year that's shaped like that. It was corn last year, salami this year, next year, corn dogs, Jackie. Corn dogs.
Eggplant.
Ooh, eggplant would be a good one. Aggressive. Yeah, believe me, I'm not trying to get you... we don't need to get Aggressive Master Raider even started on the whole salami situation. All right, let's give a few more shout-outs to the people that are in our duck race. I'm going to refresh. I don't think we have any more.
This is...
Oh, that's a lie. We did get a few extras. All right, so...
That's a lie. We have a ton more.
Yep. Jason G, you in. I also got Raiders Sancho is going to go in. L.A. Crash Dog.
You in.
In. Eric F. in. Also, Gunny, you're in twice. So, Gunny, you're in. I got Chef is in, and then LCA is in again. So, as it stands, $10 Venmo. You have a chance to win $125 today on the Raiders Report. All right, Jeremy, let's get into the final segment here on today's show. Though I do see we have two more super chats that we have to get to. So let's get to those two supers, and then we'll get into the final segment here on today's show.
Oh, we do?
We do. Yoda Jenkins is in, and then I think I just got Anthony Show Me the Green is in. All right, LCA, You make me bleed my own blood. Snap of the fingers, Michelle with the go-kart. I'll tell you what, a lot of good references there. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody. Snap of the fingers, Michelle. So, Michelle.
Michelle.
Do you remember Fran?
Oh, yeah.
You got to remember Fran. There's so many lines from that movie. That's probably one of my most quotable movies that I have. In fact, can anybody go back and name the show that I did this year? Not even this year. This month, I put a dodgeball reference on my thumbnail. I did. There is a video that I have a dodgeball movie reference on the thumbnail. Can you name that video?
I don't think I can. I don't remember.
I don't remember the video. I remember making the thumbnail, though.
But also, I don't make any of the thumbnails.
Yeah, that's true. So video went out. Yeah, it's this month. If anybody can name it, I can send it to you. You guys can let me know what you think. I don't know how it's going to show up for you, but I did. I really, really did.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That guy. I was thinking of like the other dodgeball people.
That's ESP8 the Ocho. I feel shocked. Cotton! Let's go to the next one. Coming in here, PG. Who wears the bun costume? If we end up getting this hot dog costume, it could be a little bit of a rotation. It could be shit, I'd wear it. I don't care. Chugs will wear it. I can wear it. We can make other people here in the studio wear it.
Everybody will wear it.
All you got to do, though, the only way... No, I'm not going to say it. I have an idea. I'm going to send it to you. Hang on. And says...
A lot of typing over there.
A lot of typing. You can make a rule, though. If, like, anytime somebody does X, Y, Z, and, like, all they have to do is just super chat those words, and it goes on. I don't know. Something to think about.
I don't know.
All right, guys. We do have one more segment to get into here on today's show, and then after that, Chugs and I do got to do this duck race kind of quickly. We got to bounce just because of the NBA Finals games. We got to turn over the studio here a little bit. So the show that's coming up here is players on the roster bubble. I'm going to tell you how likely that they are to make it, how unlikely they are to make this team, and I'll kind of explain my idea around why I did this show. I was excited to do this one. It's a little bit different from what I've done in the past, but if you like, cut candidates, 53-man roster projections, this is more of a, here are like the final players that are going to make it, the final players that are not going to make it on our team. You ready?
I think I'm ready. Are you ready?
Oh, Wasted. I see you also. Got to give a shout out to Wasted down in the comments. Wasted, let's try to get together for a show either this week or this weekend. I was unable to do it on Sunday for Father's Day. I'm sure you were busy as well. Happy Father's Day to you. But
well, he probably has a lot of great grandfathers get a ton of gifts on Father's Day because you not only have your kids, but their kids and then their kids after that. So I can't imagine how much stuff Wasted had going on during that day.
He probably had a lot going on.
Yeah.
I felt bad. I wanted to be able to do a show with what was it, Wednesday last week, but I think one of the finals games were going on.
Yeah.
This week, Wasted.
Wasted was at the very first finals game. At that point, they called it the beginning.
Yeah. The NBA beginning. Now it's called the finals.
Yeah.
Oh, I got
Before it was called the beginning.
I mean, boy. LCA, wear the costume during halftime of the games. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I feel like it's got to be like, I got to wear it during random times.
He said, all good, my brother. Please don't put that grandfather stuff on me. I have 2 girls.
2 girls. Though, I don't think I've ever asked the age of the girls, Wasted. I feel like he's got to be getting to that age, though, where he's getting nervous. Like,
he's never played baseball, but he has a wooden bat at his house.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, He's got a shotgun. It's not loaded, but it's ready.
Dude, we got to see. I want to see the new, what's it called? Bad Boys movie. Jack said it was really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 17 and 14. Yep, he has a baseball bat at his house.
Yeah, I mean, he's at that peak age right now where he's just sweating. You know, like
that scene from Bad Boys where his daughter has a date come in.
Oh, dude.
And Will Smith answers the door.
I'm not going to. So that movie skit alone makes me feel like why I'm going to be the dad that I am. And I've actually said this before on this stream. Like, you know, I feel like girls at that age, like they want to date the bad boy. Like if dad tells you don't date him, so Wasted, I got a tip for you, and I'm curious if you use it. You know, if you say no, don't date that person, the daughter a lot of times wants to date that person. Imagine if you're the dad that instead of trying to terrify the boyfriend being terrifying, what if you did it in the reverse way? So your daughter brings home the son. You're going to meet him for the very, very first time. Instead of saying, don't date that guy, what if, like, you meet the guy, you're overly friendly, you give him a hug, you lift up his shirt, and you blow a raspberry on his belly?
Oh, I can see Wasted.
The only way that guy's coming back is if he legitimately really likes your daughter. If you blow a raspberry on somebody's belly and he doesn't really like your daughter, he's never coming back again.
This is the advice of somebody who does not have kids.
Correct. You're telling me, though, right now, you have a daughter and you do some wild shit like that. The only way that dude's coming back is if he legitimately likes your daughter.
That's like the advice of people.
It might be a lawsuit in today's day and age, but you know what? For my daughter, let's do it.
That's like the advice of, like, oh, if you don't want to do jury duty, just show up with peanut butter on your face.
Well, I've also heard there's another way to get out of jury duty.
Noah, get the costumes from the sausage party.
From the sausage party? Get the costumes from the sausage party. What's, like, from the movie?
That movie was wild.
Sausage party. What are the costumes?
Do you remember that movie?
It's just a cartoon, though. So how is it a movie? Like, what's the costume from a movie that's a cartoon?
Well, it's probably just like...
Just sausages.
Yeah.
Just Limp Dicks. We could be a band, Limp Disket. Kinda. No? Bad joke? Okay. Let's get into the final segment today. Wasted, your homework for the week is to blow raspberry on somebody's belly. That's all I need. Though, I'm not going to lie to you. I think Wasted, he's the last person that I think would ever do that.
Yeah?
Probably. All right, I'm done. Let's get into our final segment here on the Raiders Report. Wasted's got to get some sleep. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, we're going to get into some roster bubble candidates for this upcoming season. We're going to be breaking down 10 players on today's show. I'm also going to give you the percentage of how likely those players are to make the roster. So my idea of making this show is when I think of roster bubbles, they are the players that are right on the fringe from either making it or not making this team. You know, we always do March Madness, and there's teams that are in, there's teams that are out. When I make my 53-man roster, you know, you start to get to that point where it's like, here are the final 5 players that are making it. Here are the final 5 players that don't end up making this team. We're going to break down who those 10 players are and how likely they are to make the roster. Let's go to the first player here, and there is no specific order. I will say I am starting with offense, and then I do kind of transition to the defensive side of the football. DJ Turner, here's the first dude that we're bringing up here. Wide receiver, special teams player, UDFA from the University of Pitt. Kind of finds himself in an interesting situation because he's a slot receiver. One of the smaller players, was brought in by one of the older regimes and has showed that he can be an electric athlete. Now, I will say he did not make a single catch last season, but the reason why I'm going to say that there is a 60% chance that DJ Turner ends up making this roster is because of his special teams ability. Tom McMahon, Raider special teams coach, said that, quote, I love DJ Turner. And when you have these new kickoff return rules, I think a lot of times what coaches do, I think people do it in life in general, right? Like, think about your first kid compared to your second kid. And you're very cautious with your first kid. Your second kid's kind of like, it'll be all right. We'll figure it out. I think the first year of these new kick return rules, you could see some coaches just being a little bit more cautious to make sure that they have everything figured out with these new kick return rules, which is why I think DJ Turner has a 60% chance to make this roster. Let's go to another wide receiver here, which I know that Jalen Guyton was signed right after the NFL draft to a 1-year deal, but man, oh man, I mean, this to me is somebody who is truly, truly a coin flip of whether or not he's going to make it. Does he have past ties with Telesco? Yes, he does have past ties. He gives you some of that field stretching ability as well, which is, something that the Raiders have wanted to add a little bit more speed to this offense. That way there's not so many players in the box going up against stacked boxes with quarterbacks like Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. But the reason why I'm going to give Guyton a 40% chance to make the roster is simply because of he's going to make it as a receiver. I don't really think that he has too much of an impact this upcoming season as a kick returner, punt returner, some of that special teams value. He's going to make it more as a field stretcher, and the Raiders have to, and I mean have to, keep 6 receivers for Guyton to make this team. But hey, how about this? Let's play a little bit of a game here. If you could pick only one player to keep, number 4 for Jalen Guyton, which is mind-blowing of a number. And then DJ Turner at 19. I almost want to say that his chances to make the team go down significantly because he's now number 4. Let me know down below what you guys think. If you can only pick one to keep on our roster, Turner, Guyton, my answer after this YouTube ad break. If I got to pick one, I'm picking number 19, Turner, for that special teams value. I'll admit, the better receiver is Jalen Guyton, and the better deep threat is Guyton. But for some of this pre-snap read motion that I think the Raiders might also want to use, if Trey Tucker, for whatever reason, has, an injury or unable to do it, I do think that Turner would be able to at least fill in the shoes of Tucker a little bit for pre-snap motion and then help out a little bit more on special teams. Let's now go to the next player here. I'm going to go with Jordan Meredith in terms of making this roster. I have done 2 53-mans. One time Jordan Meredith made it. The other time he didn't. And I don't want to say this because I don't want to rip on Meredith, but I actually don't think him making the team has any impact on how well he does this offseason. And sure, don't get me wrong, if he's the best offensive lineman we have, he's going to make the team, but that's just not a realistic chance, and it's not a realistic world. The reason why I said what I said is because I'm giving Meredith a 25% chance to make the roster because if Colton Miller is banged up, if Jackson Powers-Johnson is banged up, if the Raiders are legitimately worried about the health of some of our offensive linemen that are going to make the team, I think you could see Meredith make it. To me, the best overall 53-man roster that we can put together, we keep 8 offensive linemen. Our 5 starters, Andres Pete, Cody Whitehair, and then DJ Glaze, the rookie who we drafted in the 3rd round. If you're unsure about some of the health of some of those other offensive linemen that I just made, you could potentially see them keep Jordan Meredith, who's got some ties to Getsy, has some ties to this team in general, so 25% chance to make it. Let's go to the tight end room now. I'm going to go with Zach Gentry, and it's kind of a fun position battle to look at. He's 6'8". He is technically, I believe, the tallest player on the Raiders roster next to Colton Miller at 6'8". I want to say Gentry's 245. And what do you see a lot of times with young quarterbacks, tight ends becoming that safety blanket? The Silver and Black are going to run a lot of 12 personnel, and if they decide to run a lot of 12 personnel and they decide to put Brock Bowers as mainly as a slot wide receiver, I don't really see them only keeping 3 tight ends and Bowers, Mayer, Harrison, Bryant. What if they decide to keep another tight end as that number 4 guy in case there's an injury to any of those other players out there? Because we've heard 12 personnel brought up from Antonio Pierce, Getsy, Telesco, everybody around the Silver and Black. For that reason, I'm going to give Gentry here a 35% chance that he ends up making this team for the simple fact of insurance of if any of our top tight ends end up going down, that puts yourself in a really bad situation overall for overall depth at that position. So for that, I'm going to put Gentry at 35% chance to make the team. Before I get into the final 6 players on this show, I got a 100% chance that we have a hell of a deal on today's show, and it's because of our awesome sponsor, Chubbies. Skies out, thighs out, and all the dudes out there that don't skip leg day, I got the perfect sponsor for you because Chubbies, they're bringing those good vibrations. Chubbies is a lifestyle apparel brand that makes every moment feel like a vacation. And for a limited time, Chubbies is giving the nation 20% off your order with our exclusive code. Use code CHAT at chubbyshorts.com/chat. Now, for me personally, I've been wearing their original stretch shorts, and I love how comfortable the elastic waistband is. I also love that they come in 3 different lengths. I got big legs. I like the stretchy fabric. It's definitely needed in the hot weather heat. Like, if you're watching that on the show right now, this is actually me, and I'm rocking their shorts. I like that they have different shorts for the pool. You can wear them also for date night. You can wear them if you're out golfing with your buddies. It doesn't matter really what the occasion is. Chubbies shorts are an absolute game changer. I'll also say that the experience, unmatched comfort, and style with Chubbies' iconic original stretch shorts, depending on how much thigh you're looking to show off. So you can go with the 4-inch, the 5.5-inch, the 7-inch inseams. These shorts have the stretchiest fabric for ultimate movability and flexibility while maintaining a perfect tailored fit. So whether you're getting dressed for that workday, a workout, or a weekend getaway, Chubbies has you covered. And for a limited time again, Chubbies is giving our viewers 20% off your order with our code CHAT at chubbyshorts.com/chat. In case, I don't know, you were picking your you-know-what, that's code CHAT at chubbyshorts.com/chat. Support the Raiders Report. Tell them that we sent you. Don't blend in with the crowd. Stand out with Chubbies. Let's go to quarterback Anthony Brown here on the show. And Brown is... I was thinking about putting Carter Bradley on here. I was thinking about putting Anthony Brown on here. I mean, I was told this weekend that there was a chance that the Raiders keep only 2 quarterbacks on their 53-man roster. They could potentially only keep Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, which does scare me a little bit. But then again, I'm like, I don't really know if I have a lot of confidence in Anthony Brown or Carter Bradley and shit. You put both of those guys on the practice squad, I don't know if another NFL team out there is going to take them off your squad. The reason why I'm going to give Brown, though, a 25% chance is because the last time I did a 53-man, I had Carter Bradley on it because based off things that I was told, Bradley's looked like the better quarterback. Now, I've also been told in the last week that Brown, during minicamp, was shown that he was starting to be able to pick up the Getsy offense a little bit more and that his mobility gives him a competitive advantage over every single other quarterback that's in that Raiders room. But, like, there is a chance the Raiders keep only 2 quarterbacks. And if they keep only 2 quarterbacks, the chance of Anthony Brown making it goes to 0. So make sure you never miss any videos here from the Raiders Report, whether it's June, July, August. I don't care what time it is of the year, we're putting out videos. First step, hit that subscribe button. Step 2, click that notification bell. Step 3, select all as the option when you do that. All the pictures are over there on the right. They are featured. And shout out to the Noti gang of Roger Chandler, Raider Sancho, Carlos Kruger, Early Riser, and then my guy Ron Raspberry. If you want to see your name on a future show, follow those 3 steps and tune in because we're doing this every single day. We check out the Noti gang. We check to see who's subscribed. I greatly, greatly appreciate it, especially for people rocking with us here in June. Let's now go to the defensive side of the football, and I'm going to put Matthew Butler as being one of the final players on the roster bubble that either makes it or does not make it to this Raiders team. The DT room for the silver and black is much deeper than I think what the national media is going to tell you. I also think it's one of the position groups that I am the most confident in. The reason why Butler is on the fence here is because he's not a part of this regime. The Raiders also have that connection to somebody like a Nesta Jade Silvera. He did not practice during minicamp, was cut last season. Yeah, he ended up making the team back, was a member of that practice squad, but Butler is somebody who I am very on the fence about, and I think he's going to end up battling it out with the final DT roster spot with this next name coming up here, and his name is Nesta Jade Silvera. Nesta Jade's definitely got a little bit of an advantage because of his relationship with Antonio Pierce from their time back with Arizona State. On top of that, now he's entering his 2nd year into the NFL, no longer a rookie. Yes, he's a part of the Josh McDaniels regime, but like I also just view Nesta Jade as just being a part of the Antonio Pierce regime. And a lot of times when somebody's drafted in the 7th round, maybe it's somebody from, maybe AP said, hey, watch out for this guy if he's still there in the 7th, like go out and try to get him. I'll also give him a 50% chance to make this roster because he's more of a nose. He's more of an anchor, can help you out a little bit more in that running game, which is something that when you look at the Raiders defensive tackle group, I think Nesta Jade is more of a need than somebody like Matthew Butler. But hey, let's play a game here. How many DTs end up making the Raiders final 53-man? I've done it where it's been 5. I've done it where it's been 6. And to me, that's kind of the happy medium number. If you want to be an overachiever and if you want to say, Mitch, the Raiders are going to keep 5, give me the 5 names. If you're like, Mitch, they're going to keep 6, give me the 6 names. I'm going to be looking down in the comments. Now, we're going to get into some more names here on the show because for me personally, I'm thinking 5 to 6 defensive tackles end up making this team. The next player on here is a name that's been growing on my radar, and it's been growing more and more and more of, what if this is somebody that could end up not making this team? It's linebacker Amari Burney. And Burney, he was drafted in the 6th round out of Florida by Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels just last season. Really good athlete. Offers you a little bit more special teams, but it was reported by Tashawn Reed from The Athletic that Luke Masterson is the 3rd linebacker on this roster. This current regime in AP and Telesco, they drafted Tommy Eichenberg in round 5. So that tells me that Burney, as it stands right now, is the 5th linebacker on this team. If I say 5th linebacker, even when I say this out loud, the number that I'm going to show you even to me seems too high. But to me, I'm so confident that Burney's going to be a good special teams player. Just based off of the words that Tom McMahon, our Raiders special teams coach, has said of they want really good, long, lanky athletes, which is exactly what Burney is. And coming from Florida, rangy linebacker, where I don't know if he has as much skill set to get it done in the NFL, but if you're looking for a good special teams player, I think Burney's a name to keep in mind. Let's go to the next name here. It's Janarius Robinson. And he got himself in a little bit of trouble this offseason, though he did re-sign with the Raiders this offseason to a 1-year deal, almost worth about, I want to say it was like $985,000, so it's not a lot of money. I will say that I was told that he looks good this offseason and that he's probably going to be the 4th defensive end behind Tyree Wilson, Malcolm Kuntz, Max Crosby. But, there's also other players like a Ron Stone starting to crawl up the depth chart. I think other players as well that you could potentially be looking out for of, could they, like Amari Gaynor, another UDFA, of maybe they decide to put him at edge instead of linebacker. For Robinson, I wouldn't put him on my team just because of the shenanigans he did this offseason, and I would hold my players to maybe a little bit of a higher standard than Robinson's being held right now. I also don't know maybe the full story from top to bottom, but I do know the story that's been released. So for me, I wouldn't have him on my team, but the Raiders seem like they're going to have him on theirs. So I'm going to give him a 45% chance to make this roster. If you don't know, it's FKC week, and it's Madden, Raiders, Chiefs, Thursday, June 20th. And I bring the energy. I'm a big believer you got to practice how you play. And this game day, on Thursday this week on the Raiders Report, make sure you don't miss it. It's probably going to be the most crazy, wildest Madden sim that we've done all season. We're going to have some prizes. We're going to have some raffle items. If you enjoy what we do during the regular season, I'm going to try to bring Christmas Day back to you. And man, oh man, Christmas was a special, special day taking down the Chiefs. Benjenzo, Girthy Raider, Yoda, Can't Get Right, Jake Serb, and then Andy. Shout out to you for watching the show live, spamming FKC. And if you're not watching this live, well, you better, because it's the only way that you're going to be able to watch our Madden sim game. Let's go to the final name here. It's Chris Smith at safety. And kind of like what I said about Amari Burney, is exactly what I'm going to say here about Chris Smith. To me, Smith is the 5th safety on this list. You got Marcus Epps-Merrick. They're guaranteed to make this squad. Isaiah Polomeo's been getting hyped up already. He's going to make this squad. Trey Taylor, drafted in the 7th round, been hyped up, going to make the squad. That then puts you at Chris Smith, 5th rounder from Georgia last season. Somebody was drafted by, Ziegler. Somebody that was drafted by Josh McDaniels. But to me, I look at this group here, and there was somebody asked me if Jaden Grant could end up making the team. And the only reason why I think Grant's even getting mentioned anymore is because over the weekend was his birthday, and Max Crosby gave Grant a happy birthday shout out. And when Max does something like that, the entire nation listens and looks at it. I'll be real. I'm going to pay a little bit more closer attention to Jaden Grant. And because I didn't really pay any attention to him, now we're going to be paying a little bit more because if Crosby's shouting him out, maybe it's him just being a good leader. But I am going to say that there's a 60% chance that Smith ends up making this team. And I am curious to see how many safeties end up making it, because if the Raiders want to go more versatile and if they do want to use some more linebackers on special teams, I am curious to see if the Raiders use their safety room as a hybrid linebacker role in a developing NFL that continues to get faster and faster and faster. So one more time here. Here are Raiders roster bubble candidates. Offense on the left, defense on the right. To me, 5 of these players will make the team. The other 5 will not. But when you do your 53-man, that's where you got to make those tough decisions. If you haven't already given me a follow on Instagram or on Twitter, make sure you do so at Mitchell Renz 365. I would greatly appreciate it. been putting out a lot more videos, a lot more content. Depending on when you watch this video, I did just release something on Instagram, which was around the NBA Finals of if you had to build your star-studded Raiders top 5 players on the court, who would they be? Center, power forward, small forward, point guard, shooting guard, and could they compete against the Celtics and the Mavs? If you want to go vote, hey, it's on social media. And also, if you haven't already, go give producer Jeremy a follow on Twitter at Jeremy Chuggs. He's the one that does a lot of the things that behind the scenes that, honestly, if it wasn't for him, we're not doing much here at the Raiders Report. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Darth, what's the difference between Wuhan and Vegas? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Ta-da. Noah, what jersey you wearing on Thursday? I actually don't know yet.
It was the MVP of last.
Oh, yeah, duh. MVP of last week's show.
Friday.
Last Friday. Was it Ed or was it you, Noah?
No, it was.
I got to go back and look. I'm not going to lie to you.
You were wearing Ed's jersey.
I know I was wearing Ed's jersey.
But I think
is it Lord Cameron Abbott?
I think it was Lord Cameron Abbott.
I think it's Lord Cameron Abbott. Yeah.
We'll have to check, though.
Yeah, I got to double check, but I actually do think it was LCA.
Got to run the tape.
This might surprise you guys. Friday shows, I don't remember them very well. I always find it funny. Like I have I'll keep notes for myself on Friday. They're not very good notes, I'll be honest with you. And sometimes I go back and I'm like, what the hell was I talking about here? You go back, you watch, and you're like, all right, makes sense. All right, guys, we're getting ready to wrap up today's show, but I got to know who you got, Celtics or the Mavs. Are they going to take it home tonight? Reminder, we're going to be doing a live show for the Celtics and for the Dallas Mavericks tonight. Allie, where can they find you?
You can find us at Celtics Today by Chat Sports at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time is when our pregame starts. And I have to give a shout out to Raider Nation because I had Noah Santana, I had Ed Robbins in there as well, 93 Navman, and we set a Super Chat record in Game 4 on Celtics Today in history.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not saying we could do better tonight. I'm just saying it was a pretty electric night despite the absolute historic loss that the Celtics did have. So 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, be there.
Looks like your hair's different.
I straightened it. Thank you.
Straightened it. Also, your clothes match our graphic perfectly up on screen.
Salami.
Yeah, it does.
Salami. 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 I hope one day you're just out in Boston or you're out somewhere at a mall and somebody's like, hey, is that Salami Girl?
Salami Girl. As you should.
As you should. Dude, I swear I saw Salami Girl. She was getting orange chicken at Panda Express. She was just standing there like a normal person.
Who's your favorite Marvel superhero?
Salami Girl.
Salami Girl. Oh, man.
Oh, my.
There's somebody watching the show right now. They're like, it's definitely DC. It's definitely a DC. All right, I don't have anybody else in for our 50-50 raffle. This is going to be your final call for a chance to get in. If you're wondering how much money you would win to be a $10 Venmo right now, chance to win $140. Though, I did just see Charles said, you know what, Mitch, get me in. It looks like Charles did it twice. Charles, you're in. So that means now...
Oh, and Allie,
150.
Allie just actually sent me
link?
the link to the stream. So if y'all want to check, if y'all want to just open this up in a new tab, I'm going to put the stream in the chat for y'all. You want to open that up in a new tab, maybe have it ready for when the game goes on tonight? Check it out. It's going to be a fun time.
I will say there is a...
Her and Jake Smitty always party.
There is not a impossible... There is not an impossible scenario.
I know.
What?
Jake Smitty again?
Dude, Tristan, chill out.
Oh, man.
Tristan is nasty. That's a gross name.
Oh, dude.
I thought we were better than this. I thought we were close. I thought we were tight.
I mean, we are.
We are.
It's just, you know.
A lot of new people around. You forget about the OGs.
The OGs.
No, it was a callback for everybody who was watching last week.
That's right. The real Raiders report
Oh, yeah.
Jake Smitty.
No way I would get Jackson's name wrong.
No way. No way. Oh, man.
Honestly, I forgot Smitty's first name last week. I'll admit it. I forgot it. That's what happens when you only call a man Smitty for a whole year.
Yeah. I mean.
Like, what's Cullen's first name? We just always call him Cullen. We don't even know his name. No chance. I just know him as Cullen. How would that help me with his last name?
What?
Cullen's last name?
It's a color.
Cullen Green?
No.
Oh, Cullen Brown.
Yep.
Dude, no, I had no clue his last name was Brown. I just know him as Cullen, just like I know him as Smitty.
I mean, I get it. Like, I'm a big nickname person too.
I'm a bad name guy too, so if I actually know your name in some capacity, that's good.
I mean, I guarantee most Raider fans don't know your last name.
She was 6 months in, and I called her Abby.
Well, yeah, that's fair. That might have been an honest mistake. I don't really think that there's anybody in here that I've ever...
It's like, have you ever called your teacher Mom?
Yeah. I told you that the last time I was at this past weekend when I was at the airport for my buddy's bachelor party, I was the idiot as I'm getting ready. I'm going through TSA, and the guy goes, "Have a safe flight." I go, "Thanks, you too." And he literally was like, "I'm not flying today." Like, I was like, "No, you're right. I deserve that response."
I love how Anthony Green just, reflux puts in colonoscopy.
The colonoscopy. I've only seen one time somebody forget their actual name. Like, I've only seen one person.
Wait, like after concussion or like?
No, in this office, somebody's like, "But you can call me this," and it was not them. I've only seen one person forget their actual name.
That was fun.
That was unbelievable.
You can call me Petey?
What?
Why?
That was one of the best moments. Gilbert Marino, you, sir, are in. Jeremy, I'm going to send you the list of names. The winner today is going to go home with $155. $155. And then we'll be live again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. Yep. Evil Mitch, BA for 2 seconds, a third, and Myers, yes or no? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, Brandon Ayuk? So are you saying we get Brandon Ayuk for 2 second-round picks, a third, and Jacoby Myers, yes or no? I mean, I'm going to say no.
That's a lot.
I think Jacoby Myers is one of the more underappreciated number 2s in the league. And, genuinely, obviously Brandon Ayuk is the better receiver. But is Jacoby maybe a better fit for the price? Yes. Like, the Raiders want to be a physical team. And you've heard Antonio Pierce, you've heard a lot of the coaches say, Jacoby's a dog. There's not many receivers that want to go out there and that aren't afraid to lay a block, get dirty, beat some people up.
Yeah.
Way more physical player is Jacoby Myers, and I actually think in 12 personnel, Myers might be a better fit than Ayuk. Ayuk is the grossly more talented player. If the Raiders had a legit quarterback, I'm talking a top 10 QB, then I would say, yeah, F it, let's do it. Let's go get Brandon Ayuk. But because the Raiders don't have that guy, I'm going to say no to the trade that you proposed. I think it's too much. All right. Winner of this race gets $155.
Oh, my God, Live Oak.
What?
Said, LOL, I don't even remember my wife's last husband's name.
Oh, man. Hopefully it wasn't salami. 3, 2, 1, run it. All right, we got a hell of a sack race here. Jamari Murray with a little bit of a lead.
Is that just fat ass?
I was going to say, the stars is fat ass.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so I tried to mix them up a little bit. Darth, I think one says Darth. I think the other one just says fat ass, which is why it's just stars on there. Raiders Sancho, excuse me, out to a lead. Mo Shav in a very interesting spot.
Sancho!
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 In case you're wondering who's my dad, Noiko Laz.
Oh, Noiko!
Noiko.
Chief.
Frank. In a very good spot here. Frank, just so you know, it's not actually Frank, but Frank. You
Charles
know who you are.
G. LCA, Jamari Murray, Anthony Green.
This could come down to anybody here. Usually this is when somebody kicks it in.
Nico!
Noiko! Charles!
Oh.
Charles G with the win! Noiko was right there. Just fell a little bit short. Charles G.
Damn.
If you can please confirm with me that you just received $155 here on the Raiders Report. Greatly appreciated.
Funny enough,
What?
butthole pick, LCA.
Lord Cameron Abbott with the butthole pick.
God, Nico said guy was doing 10-foot jumps.
It's impressive.
Dude, you always joke, put on the Nas.
Yep.
Charles G put on the Nas right there.
Charles G put on the Nas. Charles messaged me on Venmo and said, got it. So, Charles, we got it. So, all good, man. All right, y'all. Reminder, again, for the final time, our Chat Sports team, they're going to be live doing a Celtics stream. Please go check it out. You can type Celtics by Chat Sports. Mavs, Chat Sports on YouTube. Both streams going to be live tonight. I'm going for the Mavs.
I think Rebel might be a little bit behind.
Yep. Maybe just a little bit.
I think we talked about that an hour ago.
Apple pie and cheddar cheese, I'll try it. I am curious. I will say I have to try it now. I will say I'm going to have to try it. I'm rooting for the Mavs tonight.
Rebel said I'm live.
I'm rooting for the Mavs tonight. Well, Rebel's usually he waits to eat until after our show, so now that he knows the show's about to wrap up, this is when he gets hungry. The belly starts gurgling for Rebel Montana.
We talked some good food talk today.
A lot of good food talk today.
Some barbecue.
Some cherry tart, little apple strudel.
Mitch
Salami.
learned that a tart is a kind of pastry, not how it tastes.
Both. I think it's both. It's like a donut. Donut doesn't have to have a hole in it to be a donut.
No, but whenever I say donut, it's not saying like it's going to taste this certain way.
True. All right. Let's go Mavs. I want game 6. I want game 7. I want game 6. Though I will say this, if the Celtics do win it all, there's a chance that I might be able to be persuaded to come party with the Celtics fans tonight.
Ooh.
I'm just saying. There's a way. If you guys are watching, you're having a good time.
Little green beer action?
If you guys are having a good time tonight, just somebody send something to Allie or Jake Smitty and tell them, hey, Mitch is down to clown. What's the deal?
Allie actually said if Boston wins tonight, she's eating green eggs and ham for the next month.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah. And salami.
Salami. All right, y'all. Have a good night. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time here on The Raiders Report.